All right, we're going to start this again. So sorry if you saw us when we first came on, which was like 18 minutes ago. For whatever reason, um, for whatever reason, our new system just completely went kaput on us. So we're starting over again with our old system. This is a message to all the kids out there: don't try new things. No, actually, do try new things. Just don't try new things when you actually really need the things to work. Anyway, we're gonna go back and try this again with the tournament all stars. But what is
Yeah.
the tournament if there are not audio visual issues? When you
Mhm.
really don't want there to be. That's
That's
just
a
like the life of a
hallmark.
streamer, I guess.
Yeah, it's the hallmark of this show.
Exactly.
It gives it character.
Exactly. But we are joined with obviously me, Momo, and there's also Bobby.
I'm also here. Hello, everyone. Oh my goodness gracious.
But we have 28 super cool, amazing shows for you all to see. And
Mhm.
if you are not watching this live, that's fine. And you're probably watching it on from our YouTube channel, which I also really appreciate.
Yes. Wherever
Okay,
you're watching it, that's what matters.
wherever you are watching it, whenever you are watching it, we are okay with that. And I hope you really like it. But we have our very own Peabody Award now,
Yay! It's
designed
so
by our
nice.
resident graphic designer, Hayo Silverworks.
It looks so cool. Look at
Yes,
us, two peas in a pod.
you can't come after us, Peabodies, because this is very clearly something different.
I'll deal with it if they do. It's no worries, no stress.
Bobby has connections. Okay, Bobby, do you want to start us off with our round one, the first the season finale of the tournament?
Yes, I do, and it is coming at you right now. Maybe
It is. Oh, why would you do this? I can't believe you've done this.
it truly is what it
Was
is.
this the
It
random
hurts.
generator's fault?
Yes, it was a random generator's
Oh,
fault.
I hate that.
Imagine it was worse before this.
It was
I need you to
worse.
know it was worse before this. Yeah.
You doctored it to be better. This is better.
I didn't doctor it to be better. I just reconfigured how we were doing the random generator because we had
Mm.
things going up against each other that were so uneven. Um, so
I wouldn't say it was uneven, but okay.
let's be grateful to to the random generator gods for going easier on us because it was bad. It was bad before.
Okay, fine, fine. I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay. Man. Oh, I hate this, but I know that Jimmy Neutron was originally was a movie and then it had the spin-off like The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I do not think it's even comparable to the art form that is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
So here's the thing. For though if you're not up to date on what I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't know what
Mhm.
Avatar or Jimmy Neutron is, but in case you don't, here is a one sentence synopsis for both. Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's 100 years later. I don't know why it says 100 years later. Katara and Sokka, who are two waterbenders, discover the new avatar, an airbender named Aang. And together they must help Aang master all the elements so that he can save the world. That's the main crux of the show. And Jimmy Neutron is a young boy who happens to be a genius, lives in a small town with his family and friends, and often gets into crazy adventures with them involving the things that he invents. Um, so when you mention the art form, while I do agree with you,
Mhm.
Jimmy Neutron is not holding a candle to Avatar: The Last
Not even.
Airbender.
Not even a little. It's
But
actually I don't know how you could say that like before it was uneven because this is just it's embarrassing.
okay. What I will say is this. Jimmy Neutron was a show that was in theory ahead of its time. It was
But not in
Nickelodeon's, I think.
practice.
Not well, it was Nickelodeon's first CGI show, and you're right, it was a movie first, and so they wanted to do the movie first because they wanted to make the models and backgrounds and stuff, since it was CGI
Mm-hmm.
first, so that they could just transfer it over to the TV show. So they were working smarter, not harder.
I mean, we could see that.
Yeah.
That wasn't a secret exactly,
There's
in my
nothing.
opinion.
There's nothing that I think I could say. There's nothing that could be said to defend the slaughtering that has just taken place uh, between Avatar: The Last Airbender and Jimmy Neutron. So I got nothing.
Unfortunately, Jimmy Neutron, I have one photo in my hand. And it's not yours. It's nice knowing you. But you have been eliminated in round 1 of the Tournament All-Stars. Thank you for your time.
No longer
And
in the running.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, which recently had a resurgence because of TikTok and Netflix, goes on to round 2. Thank you for your time.
It was... I hate to see you go, but I do love to watch you leave. I'm trying to make it easier for myself. Because I love Jimmy Neutron. And so that one hurt me a little bit. But...
honestly, I'm going to be honest. I didn't care for it. I think it might have been that the animation didn't age super well, like how Avatar did.
It didn't. It being the first CGI show was a blessing and a curse. It was a blessing at the time. It was absolutely a curse now.
I have to highly agree.
But I'm willing to look past it. I'm willing to look past it.
Next up, Hannah Montana versus Modern Family. Hannah Montana, I believe, was one of the top 4 for teen sitcoms, and Modern Family was one of the top 4 for sitcoms. So they're really evenly matched, I hate to say.
Yeah, they are. I mean, not in premise, but as far as them both being sitcoms,
did you know that Mitchell Musso released music within the last 2 years
of Hannah Montana?
No, just his own personal music. Because I'm gonna be honest, I was a little bit. I dipped my toe in the trenches of Hannah Montana. So that means I did follow the cast outside of just the show. I listened to Emily Osment's songs. I listened, just the cast iron pan.
Hello.
I listened to, Miley Cyrus's albums. So if you're gonna ask me, did I listen to Mitchell Musso's stuff? That is actually a resounding no, because I was insulted by Pair of Kings' existence.
That's fair. I mean, when I was in 5th grade, he put out he wasn't putting out bangers, but In Crowd, that was
in the crowd. I remember that one.
That was a bop. Like, Mitchell, he might have done something with that one. That's all I'm gonna say. He might have done something.
He went off.
Maybe he might need to remaster that one, re-release it.
Please, actually.
Research that career, Mitchell. Just saying.
But Emily Osment had a song called Love Struck, and it was very clearly a ripoff of Lady Gaga at the time, because it was very camp. And I do still listen to that song sometimes in my internal radio, because it was just so catchy. Was it good? No, but it was so catchy.
Disney Channel at the time, they knew, because first of all, they were revealed so explicitly the people in their caravan of stars, or circle of stars, I should say, who were the singers and who were not. And every time Disney Channel Circle of Stars did one of them music videos covering an old Disney song, it was so clear who was the talent and who was simply there. And sometimes those side characters were really getting showed up in those music videos. It was bad.
I mean, they did for whatever reason. They had the Sprouse twins singing in I think it was A Dream Is a Wish Your Heart Makes, And those boys couldn't sing. They knew they couldn't sing, but they were just like talk singing through it. Like in the way that children like think they can sing, but they're just like talking rhythmically. That's what they were doing. And those poor boys.
If every time I need a good laugh, I go back and I watch Disney Channel Circle of Stars, A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes. I also go back and I watch the very first edition of that, which is The Circle of Life, to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of The Lion King. When I tell you that Raven had them girls lined up in that music video, it was Raven, it was Christy Carlson Romano, and it was Hilary Duff. And they were all kind of sharing the chorus. And then the rest of them maybe got a line here or there, but them three, with Raven specifically, she was getting the girls together.
Raven before she decided she wasn't black. Okay, moving on with the Modern Family. Okay, I have unpopular opinions about the show. I do love it. I watched a lot of the seasons. But I will not stand for how people talked mad shit about my girl Claire. Because no, she was not unreasonable, and she was not the naggy wife. Like, what was his name? I almost called him Phil. Phil was a child in an adult's body. So I will not put up with any Claire slander. She did her best with what she had.
The thing is, I think Phil and Claire were perfect for each other in very different ways. Like, I think Phil kind of loosened Claire up and allowed her to have fun at certain moments. And he kept things, I would say, fresh-ish. And Claire would reel Phil in when he was being a dumbass. So they were a good balance of each other in that way. But no, I'm not going to slander Claire because, like, Phil... Look, go on YouTube and watch any compilation of Phil Dunphy moments. They're hilarious, but then you just see how truly that man was operating on a peanut-sized brain.
Awful.
What was she supposed to do with that?
Like,
what was she supposed to do with that?
I just think with like characters like Phil, they get lost in like the himbo trope, and they're not the same. Phil is not a himbo, not at all. Because I think some people are just like subbing himbo in for like useless. Because
I feel like
he was not very useful as a spouse.
Well, okay, why would someone like Phil not be considered a himbo, but someone like, I don't know. Well, I guess Phil wasn't very built, and I guess that's like a part of the description of being himbo. Like, you're kind of a big, lovable dummy, which makes sense. But I don't know. He's not quite on the same level as like other sitcom husbands who are just
not nearly as bad, but still like not like super great. I just have a problem with the like himbo trope anyway, because I think it's just like in a nice way trying to like excuse men being useless by being like, oh, he just doesn't know better, he's just this soft innocent child person. And I'm just like, that is a grown man. And he should be able to figure out how to feed himself. Like,
well, I feel like with himbos, it's just so much they don't know like book knowledge per se, but they're not completely like fully incompetent. Like, I think of someone like Kronk. Like, Kronk,
like, he's very capable.
He's
just
very
not
capable
at some things.
And I think that's like a crux of like what is a himbo. Like, a himbo is not, he's not weaponized incompetence. He just is not smart. And I think like that's what separates it.
The thing is, no, he's like competent in his field and stuff that he's like naturally good at, but in things that other people would somewhat be naturally good at, he's just not. And like, that's just his thing. But Phil is just not good at most things that would keep a human alive. And like, that's most of the like the sitcom dads. Like, what's his face? The Richard from Amazing World of Gumball. He's not good at anything that would keep a living thing alive. He's not a himbo. He's just useless.
Who's calling Richard from Amazing World of Gumball a himbo?
Because he's big and like ditzy. but
He's
like
supposed to be but attractive is a very key
I
element
mean,
of
Nicole finds
him.
him attractive, but like they're really just the animated version of like the sitcom couple. But I think we lost the plot. We have lost
We've
the
lost.
plot.
Okay, really link back in.
Reeling it back in. Modern Family versus Hannah Montana. Modern Family had such a long run on broadcast TV, but
It
Hannah
did.
Montana had like several different clotheslines, a movie, two spin-offs, I think, Hannah Montana Forever, and then like what was the other one?
I thought it was just Hannah Montana
I thought it was
Forever.
Hannah Montana and Hannah Montana. I thought there was two.
I thought it was just
Oh no.
one.
Then had a
I thought it
spin-off.
was just...
We're not getting a
Yeah.
spin-off from Modern Family. That's not happening.
Well, here's the thing. This is where this element of All Stars gets a bit tricky because these are two very different shows for two very different
Yes.
groups of people. So Modern Family probably wouldn't get a movie or anything like that, or they probably wouldn't get like a shit ton of merchandise because it wasn't made for people who would want Modern Family merchandise. Whereas Hannah Montana, it makes sense because it was made for kids. You know what I mean?
It's true.
So me personally, I can't use that as a metric of one show over the other because they're marketed to two very different groups.
They really are. Then what puts one over the other in this case, in your opinion?
To me, what puts one over the other is like the quality of comedy, the quality of show, not so much the response that it got, because they're going to have two very different responses. Like Hannah Montana having a musical element to the show already puts it moons ahead of Modern Family because there's a completely different machine behind it. You know what I mean? But I think as far as a show that I liked more, it might be Modern Family. Like it edges it out a little bit. Because I want everyone to know. I want you look me in my eyes.
Maybe you should get closer to the camera so they can look you in the eyes.
I loved Hannah Montana. That was my queen. The first album that I ever owned and bought with my own money was her first album from season 1 of the show.
You're lying.
That was the first album I owned that I bought with my own money, and I put it on my little iPod Nano, and I wore that bad boy out.
You had an iPod Nano?
Yes, it was a silver iPod Nano. I had Hannah Montana. I had T Squad. I had the first High School Musical soundtrack. It was stacked, but that's neither here nor there. I feel like we talked about this, that you had a Zune.
Yeah, I wasn't cool. I didn't have an iPod Nano. I had a Zune, which my mom insisted was going to be the new iPod. She was wrong.
It never went that way, but you know what?
It never did.
She was a forward thinker.
She was.
And a part of that is you got to take some risks every once in a while. But no, point still stands. I liked Hannah Montana, but I know if I went back and watched the show, I think I would realize that it was a lot of the elements surrounding the show that made me love it so much. It was the fact that like Miley Cyrus was touring as Hannah Montana, so I could see her. I could buy the albums, I can buy the merchandise, and then the show was just like another thing. Like, not to say that the show wasn't like iconic in and of itself, but as far as like the quality of the better show, to me, it's Modern Family. That's how I feel.
I can see that. I mean, like, I was one of the people that went to Hannah Montana the movie, not Hannah Montana the movie. I did go to that, but I mean Hannah Montana in concert at the movie theaters.
I miss when they used
to
do
that. Which I think we should bring back. I think we should bring back concert movies because those are so much fun. But I mean, like, after COVID, honestly, not now, but after COVID. But that's something that should come back in, I think, the late. What century are we in? 21st or 22nd at this point?
We're 21st, bestie. Have you lived 100 years?
Listen, I don't know how math works. I'm not religious. It's the 21st century. It should make a resurgence in the 2020s at some point.
Yeah.
I'm not really doing much for myself here.
Sound it out, baby. Sound it out. You got it. Sound it out. No, I agree. Because I remember going to the Jonas Brothers I feel like I've talked about
I
this
went to
on
Jonas
stream before.
Brothers in the movie concert.
I went to Jonas Brothers in concert at the movie theater, and you could not tell me that when I
Mm.
was going to see it at the Mall of Georgia, I was convinced in my head, I was like, they're gonna be there. They are
They were
literally about to
not
be
there.
here. I had zero evidence to back up that claim, but I was like, they are really about to be at this movie theater. And be there, they were not. So,
Mm-mm.
that just shows.
I mean, I was very deep in the trenches for Hannah Montana,
I
but
was too.
I think I do have to go with Modern Family just because some just scenes with like Stella the dog, those are so funny. Oh my god.
The scene where
The dog kept trying to commit suicide. He couldn't swim. It was just like, I'm gonna go for a dip.
and then it would just end it all. The scene every time she would jump into the water. I forgot her Sofia Vergara's character, Gloria.
Yes.
Yeah, every time she hated that dog, but she would
hated
save
that
it.
dog.
And the part when she came out of the water after she jumped into the pool, and Jay and Manny gave the dog the towel, and she was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you give me the dog towel."
But my favorite scene from like a Modern Family episode was when like Gloria was trying to explain the concept of heaven to Manny, and like she was just like, "Oh, and there's like beautiful things in heaven, and this, that, and the other thing." And Manny was just like, "Are there puppies?" And she's like, "Yes, yes." "Are there kittens?" And she's like, "Of course." And he's like, "Are there butterflies?" And she's like, "Of course they're butterflies." And he's like, "I'm terrified of butterflies." And he just starts running, screaming, and she's like, "No, no, there are no butterflies in heaven. I know they're not there." I explained that scene terribly, but it's hilarious. You should look it up. So I think Modern Family, yeah, I guess. I'm so sad to see Hannah Montana go so early. I hope that we would have at least like one teen sitcom in like the top 4 of the All Stars. I don't know if that's going to happen because the sitcoms are really funny.
They really are. And like,
but thank you for your time, Hannah Montana.
We love you. Kisses.
Kisses.
But
you'll always find your way back home.
You will. So true. Okay. Well, do you have any parting words while I get the next one up?
I mean, I had a Hannah Montana poster. I didn't have the bedspread because I didn't have money. I had what else did I? Okay, this is a not fair comparison. I got distracted by the new set.
Momo, when I tell you it was much worse. It was much worse.
I'm saying this is unfair because I do not think I didn't enjoy Scream Queens because I don't like scary. But I adore The Magicians. Absolutely adore that show. Let me pitch The Magicians to you if you have not heard of it.
Go for it.
It is Narnia minus Christianity plus Harry Potter if it was good. And I could not think of a better concept for a TV series. I am in love with it.
Plus Harry Potter if it was good.
Yes.
I think that's a key part of that formula.
Exactly. That is the key part of what makes The Magicians one of the best magical shows to come on in the last 10 years. I think I can't speak enough about how good this show is. Unfortunately, you haven't seen it, so you don't know how good it is. I think what we should do one day is just have a stream where we just watch the first episode of The Magicians.
Where you force me against my will to watch the first episode of The
I force you against your will to watch my shows. Absolutely.
And then when you come on my stream, I will forcibly make you watch all the things that you're like,
absolutely.
I really like that. You're going to enjoy it.
Absolutely. But I do appreciate the wardrobe of Scream Queens. I appreciate that Keke Palmer was in it. I didn't really care for the plot. I understand horror camp is a genre. It's not one that I vibe with. Bobby? Hello?
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
There we go. I don't know what happened.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, so I hope you heard what I said.
What did you say?
I said that I understand that horror, like camp horror, is a genre. It's just not one that I vibe with because I don't have the stomach for it.
Well, here's the thing with
Mhm.
Scream Queens, like, because I was talking about when I was doing
Mhm.
research for the video that I made a couple days ago
Yeah.
about it. My least favorite thing about this show is the horror.
Mhm.
Like, it's just a legitimately like funny, campy show.
Mhm.
It is a stacked cast of people. Like Hayo mentioned, Niecy Nash, Kiki Palmer, Emma
Mhm.
Roberts, Billy Lord, Abigail Breslin. Hell, even Leah Michelle was pretty good in the show. And I'm not one to give Leah Michelle credit for anything, but she was doing what she had to do. But I think it's not, and I know you don't like scary because I don't like it
Mhm.
either. It's not really scary at all. Like the horror is the last thing in the show to me.
It wasn't for me. It wasn't my cup of tea. Um, I
It's
can't
just
vote for it to continue because if we lost Jim, I would rather bring back Jimmy Neutron or Hannah Montana than let Scream Queens go forward.
I
That is
okay,
my
Mama.
opinion.
Mama, I need you to look me in my eyes right
Yes.
now. If I let Scream Queens go
Hmm.
down the line for some of my faves, I better not hear none of this. It better
I
just
like
be,
actually I really don't care for the horror, so like I am completely fine with this one going. I mean, I'm not attached to the Animaniacs, but it's obviously not going to be better than Atla.
well, I mean, there are some shows that I think
Hmm.
if we're going off of the assumption that Atla is just going to like win the whole thing, then we should
I
just
don't know if
stop
it's
it
going to win the
here.
whole thing, but I'm just saying if it's like if we get down to like Atla and Scream Queens, like obviously Atla is
Well,
better.
obviously, but there are some shows on this list that I feel like for me personally,
Hmm.
I like more than I like Avatar.
Yeah, that's I mean like that's your opinion as well. Like I haven't seen what it's up against. But like for me personally, if it was like it's not going to be up against like Atla versus the Magicians. That would be a hard call for me to make because I think they're, in my opinion, like the same level of good. But I don't think, from someone that has seen both of these shows, I don't think that they are the same level of good. I think Scream Queens has its place in like TV and comedy, but I think in terms of story, The Magicians is just a more fun and interesting and compelling story.
Okay. I will let the magicians go on, but
Mhm.
I'm when it comes to something that I really love, I'm not compromising anymore. I'm not doing it. Chat?
I'm just saying, as someone that has seen both shows, I don't think they are the same level of good because a show that is like bad on purpose doesn't seem like it's on the same level as a show that is good like on purpose. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I just like when it comes to certain
Mhm.
shows, if a show is more funny and campy, I'm always gonna root for that show. Not to say that The Magicians is bad
Yeah.
because I haven't seen it,
No,
so
it
I
is.
don't
It's
know.
literally camp. They have like several musical episodes. They paid $10,000 to play, I think like 30 seconds of a Taylor Swift song.
And we're dying on the
Not
hill of
even them
Taylor
play
Swift.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I mean, I agree with Kaz. I'm not this is not a show I'm gonna die on the
Mhm.
hill on. So I'm willing to like I love it, but when it comes I'm
Yeah,
willing to tussle about some other shows on this list.
that's fair. Like
This is
this
not
is
one
one
of
of the
them.
shows I'm willing to tussle over because it's so underrated and it's so good. It just didn't get the love it really deserved.
It will get the love
Yeah.
now, but
Yes.
I cannot promise that it will get the love.
I can't promise it survives round two, but
Yeah.
I do not think I would literally never let the show die in round one.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Chat, you see me? Yeah. Eye to eye. I see you. All right, let's move on. We will move on. Scream Queens, love you guys. I tried my best, but
I mean, like, I love Kiki Palmer with all my heart.
not apparently not that much. If you're willing to just
But I
kill the
do
only show
think that
she's
The
on,
Magicians is objectively a better show.
and
Yeah.
that's your opinion. That's your opinion.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, I'm just kidding. Whoop! Wow, my camera just.
Oh wow, these are two amazing shows. I think you probably need to give like descriptions of what these shows are because
Yeah,
we are in like the very small demographic that knows both of these shows very well.
Yeah. Okay, so Chalk Zone. Hold
Mhm.
on. Let me go to my notes. Chalk Zone. So young Rudy appears like any other student at his elementary school, but he has a special gift. Rudy can draw portals with his magic chalk, and he uses those portals to enter new worlds. The drawings that have been previously erased come to life as Rudy explores the Chalk Zone. So that's Chalk Zone. So the buzz on Maggie.
Mhm.
Maggie Pesky is a fun-loving, energetic, creative, and independent-thinking tween fly. She's a literal fly from the metropolis of Sticky Feet, who often ruffles antennae with other insects caught up in conventional, hard-working, everyday routines. That's a very anti-Maggie description, but
It's like, hey, she's the main character, but also she's the villain.
Oh my god, no! Why do I keep freezing?
No, you're not freezing on stream. I don't think so.
Oh, jeez.
Can you hear me, Bobby? Oh, I don't know if Bobby can hear me. But Bobby can't. So until she can, I will tell you why both of these shows are so good. So, like, Kaz, you haven't seen The Buzz on Maggie, but it is literally one of the high. Can you hear me, Bobby? Oh, it is such a high concept show. It was created, I can't remember the name of the creator. Oh, I think it's the same creator as, no, that's wrong. That's Dave the Barbarian. It is literally everything is set in a dump, but you wouldn't be able to tell that by looking at it because everything is so bright and colorful. If you've played the Disney Channel games, you can find them online. Legally, question mark. Top 10 for sure. Let's see. But Chalk Zone, in my honest opinion, I do think I do think that if there was ever a show Nickelodeon should bring back and like revamp, it should be Chalk Zone because the way this has amazing world building built into it. Like, think anything you've erased turns and goes to Chalk World. Is that called? They might be called Chalk Zone, actually. That makes more sense. It goes to Chalk Zone, right? That means any terrifying drawing, there could be like a whole like Nowhereville of places you should not go into Chalk Zone. In Chalk Zone, there's the amazing river, which is obviously like a play on the Amazon River. There is even like I think there are like different versions of the characters there. Bobby, can you hear us?
I'm here now. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I'm here now.
Okay. I was just talking about how great Chalk Zone is, and I think you might agree with me. But if there was a show, like if either of these shows was going to come back, it should be Chalk Zone.
Oh, of course it should be Chalk Zone. Yes.
Like The Buzz on Maggie was such an amazing concept with how they could cover different things about bugs, but in my opinion, Growing Up Creepy did it better.
See, and this is when our Discovery Kids
Discovery Kids child comes out.
Because
in my opinion, they did it better.
Growing Up Creepy is a way better show. If you've never seen it, it's on Discovery Kids. It's probably on YouTube now, honestly.
Yeah. The quality is terrible because they made it on like 2 pennies and a ham sandwich.
Mm-hmm. Not good, but better concept and better execution, I think. So, all around better
I
show.
think it just the bug thing. The bug thing is better executed on Growing Up Creepy. But
Yeah,
if there was a
because
show that should come back,
it would
1000% Chalk Zone.
it would be Chalk Zone. I think these two shows are both good in the sense that they're both very underrated shows. But me personally, I'm putting my vote behind Chalk Zone. Thought it was
We
a better
got
show.
musical scenes at the end of every episode. Why? Because they love us.
Yeah, it's like Bill Nye. Why did he end every episode with a music video about, I don't know, inertia? I don't know. He just did.
Like they did the lime and the coconut for whatever reason. I don't know if they should have done that. I don't know. I don't know if they should have, but they did.
Yeah, they sure did.
Could I tell you any of the main characters' names aside from Rudy? No.
Nope.
I almost said that the blue kid was named Blue, but I'm pretty sure that's from Foster's Home of Imaginary Friends.
That is absolutely
I just saw Blue and I'm just like, obviously.
His name's Blue.
This is Blue. It's not, couldn't tell you its name.
Not
Couldn't.
Blue.
I do think it should come back. And it should be like dry erase zone.
Or like what do people use now in schools like those projection
Apple Pen
boards?
World.
Apple Pen World. Like projection board zone.
Maybe it didn't age super well because you don't use chalkboards anymore. But I do think it could come back. It could be Apple Pen World, something like that.
Oh,
but
my God.
Bottom line is, it should move on to the next round.
It absolutely should. Apple Pen World. I'm so sick. That's so funny. Oh my. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's get the next one up. Sorry.
Lovely shows, though. Love you, Buzz on Maggie. Your game was so much fun.
Was like Disney Channel at that time. They knew how to make a computer game.
Yeah. They made like 2 or 3 computer games and then just canceled the show after being on the air for 2 months.
Yeah, they were like, we'll keep the game, but the show?
Thank
Bootski.
you. We are no longer in need of your services, though.
Thank you so much.
But then everybody went to work on Brandy and Mr. Whiskers, and it was okay.
Like, I guess that show got canceled too.
Yeah.
This next one, this is where it gets a little bit tricky, and I don't think we could have avoided this at all.
Oh, wow.
But this is where it gets to be like these two shows are in completely different ballparks.
They are in completely different ballparks. I agree. However, if there's one I would put on right now, I don't think it would be The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
That's fair.
I'm going to say this. I don't think The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody is rewatchable.
Really?
I don't have like any urge to rewatch this show. I would like rewatch Lizzie McGuire, like That's So Raven. I can't think of a single episode of The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody other than like the Halloween special that is like worth going back to for a rewatch.
That is true. That is very true.
Like
actually.
Not counting the crossovers with like other shows. I can't think of a single one that's just like I would go back and rewatch this episode. Cuz it was, I think, just being in that, growing up in that time and how we were like immersed in like the Sprouse verse, we were just like, wow, they were so great. The show was so good. When you zoom out and look at it, this show was really just okay.
I think, but the problem is you can say that for a lot of Disney Channel shows of those times.
Lizzie McGuire was genuinely good, though. That's So Raven was genuinely good.
Oh, of course. And like Kim Possible, like the girl-centric shows, they were genuinely good. I will still hold up that I think one of the best characters written on TV is London Tipton. London Tipton. Because Brenda Song did what she had to do with that performance and the character in general. Like
Brenda Song ate wherever she was. Anything.
Yeah, she did. She sure did.
It was great.
She sure did. She was like, I'm here for a check and I will earn every single
absolutely
every single penny, nickel, and dime of that check.
Absolutely.
And she sure did.
I just think that the Boondocks holds like more water story wise, and also is a lot more rewatchable. And Bobby, it's been like a month or so since
The answer to the question is no. The answer to the question is no. No, I haven't seen it. The answer to the question is no. I have not seen it yet.
The Boondocks has appeared, I think, twice. Like, this is the third time it's appeared in the tournament. And every single time it appears, Bobby is like, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. And it's been months. Bobby has still not watched it.
Maybe if I don't promise it, then I'll stumble upon it and watch it. But here's the thing. TikTok has done the watching for me because I get clips of the Boondocks all the time.
That is true.
So I have seen it.
Unfortunately for you, you have added another show I'm going to sit and force you to watch. And that is the Boondocks. So
it doesn't feel as torturous. So that's fine. I know
The Magicians is a good show.
I'm not saying that it's a bad show. I'm just saying the forcing me against my will part. That's not fun.
That's true. I mean, like, I could make you watch, like, that, the Boondocks, and Doom Patrol back to back, but I am not cruel. I wouldn't say I'm a particularly ethical person, but I am fair.
I am fair. I don't think she's a good person, but I had to love her to play her. That's you.
Yeah. But I don't think that The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, like, the show as a whole, is as good as we remember it. I think if we were to sit and watch it and be like, God, this was rough.
It was rough.
Especially that one episode where Zac Efron is in it and he plays like a young Republican.
I do not remember that.
You don't remember that?
I don't recall that. I remember him being on the show and him, I think, like, kissing Ashley Tisdale, because I remember reading about it later and her being like, that was like my brother, so I just felt weird that I was kissing him. I was like, girl, shut up. But I do not remember the character that he played. I just remember that everybody on High School Musical basically ran through that show at a certain point.
That's true.
Like,
so. I think they were just all friends and they're just like, hey, we did an extra that has a line. Do you want to be in it?
I'm like, sure, why not? But I'm not gonna fight you on this because I know there's no argument where Sweet Life goes over Boondocks in round one. It simply is not gonna happen. So we say goodbye to yet another teen sitcom.
I'm so sorry, teen sitcoms. You're really getting bodied, but like there are some of you that are really good.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, we haven't reached those yet.
We haven't gotten there. But here's the thing. Mm-hmm. The ones that we have remaining, I feel, depending on who they're going up against, because I don't remember, but they could potentially eke their way through round one.
I think so, too. All right. The next two, let's see them.
Let's see them. All right. This is another one.
Are you keeping track, by the way?
I am keeping track.
Okay. Hocus Pocus versus Warehouse 13. Have you seen Warehouse 13?
I have not.
Oh, man. How have you... Okay, you can explain the shows. I think I am also one of the few people that have seen Warehouse 13 because I was a sci-fi girly. I was there when they changed the logo from like SCI-FI to SYFY.
Fair.
Yeah, I spelled that right.
I only watched sci-fi because WWE SmackDown was on sci-fi for a little stint, so that was my extent of watching sci-fi, but that was it. So Warehouse 13, Pete and Micah, U.S. Secret Service agents, are deployed in South Dakota's Warehouse 13 with a new assignment from an authority above and outside the government. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
Cool. And I feel like we've all seen Hocus Pocus, but let's just do a little synopsis. A curious youngster, moves to Salem where he struggles to fit in before awakening a trio of diabolical witches that were executed in the 17th century. That's Hocus Pocus.
Like, I think when we first did this, we were both under the understanding that we didn't super love this movie, but it was like Halloween core.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think like that kind of answers where this is going.
Well, here's the thing. Because this is the one that I've seen, I don't have any stake in Warehouse 13.
Oh,
But
do you want me to explain it to you?
I think I got it from, it just didn't sound like a show that I would like.
Because like the synopsis leaves out like the best part. So like their job is basically to find like artifacts that have special properties. Like there's like Jack the Ripper's raincoat that might be in a museum somewhere, but if certain objects, depending on what they've been through, sometimes possess abilities. Like the Jack the Ripper's raincoat, if I remember correctly, like it can cure polio, but it will also make the wearer turn into like a serial killer.
Oh, okay. That's not.
Or like let's see, man, there were so many artifacts. It's just like real actual things. Oh, don't apologize.
Yeah.
Like real
We're here
actual
now.
things that might possess supernatural abilities because of who previously owned it. And it's just so cool. Like what's that guy that did the Raven? What's his name again? Edward Allan Poe.
Yeah,
Like
Edgar
his
Allan Poe.
pen like gives people special abilities. And that's kind of, dangerous to have in the wrong hands. So they have to go find that power and put it in the warehouse. I think
Okay.
that's super fun.
It is super fun. Here's where it gets a little tricky, a little bit dicey for me.
Yes.
If you recall from the
Mhm.
ranking episode where we did
Mhm.
Christmas movies, where we were talking about Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas, and I divulged that I had or maybe still have a crush on Jason Marsden. Now, how does that circle into what we're talking about? He plays the cat in Hocus Pocus.
Bobby. The cat?
So, yes, the cat. Yes, the cat. Okay. He plays the cat. And for that reason, that is why I like Hocus Pocus. Now you made a convincing argument because it Warehouse 13 does sound like a cool show. I'm not gonna hold you. Am I a furry? Please don't ever. Please don't ever. Am I a furry? No, I am not a furry. I just like Jason Marsden. But
I can't believe just that one thing. That one thing made you have furry allegations.
and the thing is, I will never be beating the furry allegations because of that moment.
Because of that one comment you made.
I will never be beating the furry allegation. I think he technically plays someone else too in the movie. But it's him. It's not the cat. It's him. But that's how I feel. Now, am I willing to fight for it? Not really, but I just want to make it clear that that is why I am rooting for Hocus Pocus.
You know what? That's fair. That's fair. But Warehouse 13, a criminally underrated show. You can find the pilot script online. It is really long for some reason. I think they just were like, we're going to write out in detail all of the action scenes. But it is an amazing show. I think you can find it on Amazon Prime.
Probably.
If you have a subscription, I believe it's free. So if you ever wanted to spend like a few hours of your time, I think it had 5 seasons. It did get canceled because obviously it was on Sci-Fi. Sci-Fi cancels all their best programming. But amazing show. 10 out of 10.
10 out of
Actually,
10.
9.5 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
So that moves forward. Damn, that got me. Not the furry allegations. Not the furry, not the furry allegations. Oh my word. Okay.
Oh my Lanta.
Oh,
Is that what you guys say in Atlanta?
No, literally no one says that. Maybe white
How
people.
would I know that?
Maybe white people say it, but not I, said the fly. Okay.
And yes, we did. I watched Arcane. I don't know if Bobby did. I think it was a good show. I wouldn't put it in like my top 10 of the year though, because it just wasn't totally my vibe.
Oh, it doesn't seem like my vibe either. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh my god.
This is about to be another teen sitcom potentially.
Like I can't believe it. I can't believe it because like these are I feel obligated to choose Raven, but the way I literally wrote a spec script for Schitt's Creek not too long ago.
And I read it and it was really good. It was really good. I read the outline for it. I didn't read the script.
Oh, I should probably send it to you. I will.
Um
Man.
this
I think
this
okay, they're
this one
different
hurts.
kinds of funny. I wouldn't say
To
that one is funnier. Yeah, I guess like objectively one is funnier than the other. Like in terms of situational comedy, I feel like Schitt's Creek is funny because of like the situations they are in, whereas like That's a Raven is funny
for
still
like
because of the situations, but like because we can see the end result and
yeah.
how we got there is like funnier than like the end result. I
Yeah.
feel like that is just the same thing explained like pedantically.
To me, like I agree. Like
Mhm.
Schitt's Creek is more of a drier humor, a
It is
lot
very dry.
more sarcastic, a lot more like just
Mhm.
very covert humor.
Yes.
Whereas That's a Raven is
It
a
is
little bit more.
wet humor. It
It
is
is
moist humor.
sure. It's it is what Momo said.
It is
But
moist humor versus dry humor.
it's also a lot more physical comedy too.
Yeah.
And I think and also to me, and this is not like a bad thing per se,
Mhm.
but I feel like Raven and Be It She Should Be was the funniest part of that show. And everyone else was like funny, but like she was the
Mhm.
funniest part where Schitt's Creek has multiple characters that are all funny for like a lot of different
Yeah.
reasons. But this is hard. This is really difficult because I love both of these shows.
I think both of these shows are very rewatchable as well.
Yeah, they are. They're very
Hmm.
rewatchable. Do we have
I don't want to
saves?
make this decision. I don't want to.
Are we not doing saves for All Stars?
I think we should. I want to save.
Okay, you're using your save?
Um I probably no, you use your save.
No, because I first of all, I have a couple shows that I feel like I know you were gonna rip apart, and I need to save. I need to use my save.
Okay, then I'm not using my save either.
Mama, we let you're like one of your shows that you were willing to tell us
Then we'll
before
let
go
Schitt's Creek
through.
go.
I can't let Schitt's Creek go.
Then use your save.
Wow. So this is on me? This is on me because you don't want to use your save.
You don't want to use your save.
I mean, you were real excited to use your save. So I was going to be like, yeah, you use your save because this is something we both equally think is worth the save.
You know what, Bobby? You have been good to me in these past 7 episodes.
Thank
I
you.
will use my save and save Schitt's Creek.
Thank God. I think I was going to throw up if I had to get rid of one of those.
Crying, throwing up, shitting violently because Schitt's Creek gets eliminated in round 1.
It was going to hurt me so bad. And here's the thing with
Yeah.
Momo, guys, what I'm going to tell you is this. Even though I said I was going to fight for myself, I know there's going to be a point where Momo really wants a show to go through and I'm going to compromise again. So it's like she has infinite amounts of saves. So this is the one time it benefits me. But it's
I will
fine.
use my save and I'll save Schitt's Creek. Because Moira Rose
is so well written. Really just
insane
such a well written
human
character.
being. Love her. Okay.
Okay.
I wonder what's next. If this wasn't even the end, like that was painful. That was hard.
That was hard. And
I was scared. Was anyone else scared? Yeah.
Raise your hand if you were scared. Yeah.
I was scared. Okay. This one isn't as hard for me.
It's not hard for me.
Okay, I thought I don't know if we're gonna agree.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Okay. Hold on. Give me a second.
All right. Are you praying? Are you praying?
I love
praying.
I love this show so much,
I'm
but
crying.
there's there's something about it. There's something in me that's saying we are not on the same page. There's something in my body that's saying we are not on the same page. And
Okay, are we
I'm
gonna
not
say it?
ready. Okay.
3, 2, 1. Rugrats.
Hey Arnold.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
No.
Oh no. um the reason why I go with Rugrats is because I just genuinely like I'm crying, sorry. I genuinely like that show. I genuinely enjoy that show so much. I think it's I think oh I cry. Hold on. Oh my tissue. I don't have a tissue, you have to use a Q-tip. Shit. Ah fuck, it hurts so bad. Oh, this is so pitiful. Okay.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay. Oh, I'm crying. Okay.
No.
No. And then the stream
Oh
cut
my
out.
god.
Fuck. Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh shit.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Okay, I'm back. I'm back.
My camera literally shitting, crying, throwing up. Like, I can't do this. I can't do this. Oh my gosh, I cannot do this. Okay.
Like so I think we're gonna take like a short intermission to collect ourselves because we can't. But we'll be back in like 5 minutes. Okay, we'll see you guys soon.
Okay.
We had to collect ourselves. Sorry.
It's still hard because we're back here and we have to make a decision now.
Well, okay. I mean, I was picking Rugrats because I genuinely did enjoy that show, and I really was invested in All Grown Up, Rugrats All Grown Up. I have not seen the reboot, but I do remember like basically all like the Hanukkah episodes. I thought that was really fun. I do appreciate Hey Arnold though. I do appreciate it.
This is one where I simply have to say that Hey Arnold has to go through. It's the show that I watched literally last night, so it's very fresh on my mind.
Okay.
As far as which one was kind of the better show, to me it is Hey Arnold, because Arnold was like the main character, but there are plenty of episodes that talk about a lot of the other characters too. The show, like the world that they're in, feels very lived in. It's very like, you know, there's so much variety to it. Like, it's an amazing show. And if I had my Hey Arnold record with me, I would show it again, because I think I showed it the first episode we talked about it. But it's just the better show for me. I wish I could say more about it, but it's the better show.
Okay, Bobby. Okay, I will go with Hey Arnold, even though I do deeply love Rugrats.
I do too. I do too. And I don't know why in my head I was like, oh, we're going to be on the same page with Hey Arnold, because that's like a cool, chill show. And you pick Rugrats. Who couldn't have seen that coming? Not I.
I mean, like, I really loved All Grown Up. All Grown Up, I really want to shout it out. All Grown Up, I want the world to know. It's so fun.
To be fair, if we are talking about All Grown Up, that is a completely separate show from Rugrats.
I know, but technically it is not, because I literally sent you this in a TikTok. If you missed the beginning of the stream, I send Bobby TikToks, and Bobby never sends me any.
I said it's not my love language, and now I'm the bad guy.
The actual episode of Rugrats where they like soft launched All Grown Up.
Yeah, it was like a backdoor pilot situation. Yeah. I get it. They're two different shows now. They're connected, but they're not. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Don't
But
don't
yes,
start pouting with me.
we're going to put Hey Arnold through.
Yes, we
I'm
are.
just saying I do deeply love Rugrats and and Susie Carmichael, because she's played by, of course, the one, the
You
only
know,
Cree
Cree
Summers.
Summer.
We if no one knows this except for us because we were in the room. But when we were pitching ideas for like shows to do in the future, we were gonna do like Black Girls in Animation, but we realized all of them were just Cree Summers.
They're all her. I mean,
Yeah,
queen of my heart. You know, she deserves it,
she does.
but it is what it
Oh,
is.
this is all you, Bobby. This is like
This
both of these shows speak to your soul.
it's hard.
I
It's
know it's
hard.
hard. It has to be hard.
It's so difficult because I love both of these shows. I love both of these shows. Uh it's just back to back pain. Like when you were doing the best of each episode, we obviously had emotional stakes in a lot of
Exactly.
these picks. And this is one where I'm like, fuck, because Living Single is a phenomenal show. If you don't know, that that, that was basically Friends. They stole the concept for Friends from Living Single. Cuz it's like how many it's six black friends living in 90s Brooklyn. And then when they saw Friends, they were like, "Oh, let's just take that concept and do like six white people in Manhattan in the 90s, whatever."
Mm-hmm.
So, Living Single, phenomenal show. But also, Boy Meets World, another superior teen sitcom.
I do agree.
Wall to wall comedy. Now, be it they have some real dumbass characters. I'm looking at you, Topanga and Corey. But that is
They were
besides the
like the
point.
least interesting part of that show.
I would let me tell you, I watched it for Ryder Strong and later on Angela. Right? Like Sean and Angela,
Listen,
they were the
it
duo.
crushed me that they did not get together in the reboot. Crushed.
Apparently, because I went down this rabbit hole one night of
Mm-hmm.
trying to figure out like why didn't they get together in the reboot. And apparently they wanted to, like, Trina McGee and
Mm-hmm.
Ryder Strong, who play Sean and Angela,
Yeah.
wanted their characters to end up together. And it was something with the producers being a little bit shisty. I'm not gonna say racist, but a little bit something going on there. And so they kept trying, like when they were first seeing each other in the episode, they like greeted each other with a hug because obviously they like dated for a long time and then hadn't seen each other in years. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously two characters would greet each other with a hug. They didn't want to do it like that. And so it was a bunch of stuff that was going on. And it kind of some people, some fans of the show think that uh Ryder and Angela were kind of like
Mm-hmm.
protesting the ending by not really giving it like the best, like
Acting
not giving,
chops, yeah.
yeah, not giving the proper like emotional stakes to how it was written,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense. But
Yeah.
oh,
I mean, like then again, I think they shouldn't probably do the whole like, oh, we dated as children, and now we are completely different people, but we're still in love.
well, I
Like,
mean,
how
like
often does that happen?
they dated from high school until college, so it's not like it was they were that far
True.
removed from it. Because Angela came in what, like season 5 or 6.
Um,
So
Probably like I would say maybe 4 because the show had 6 seasons, didn't it?
I think it's either 6. She came in late. Like
Yeah. She
she's
came in at
not
the
in,
tail end, but I don't think she came in the last 2 seasons. I think she might have come in the last 3.
yeah, or maybe like the last half of season 4. Like it
Okay, yeah.
wasn't,
That makes sense. That makes sense.
I think it might have been what it was. But she came
Mhm.
in and she killed it and they became like the couple of the show.
Yeah.
Not only that, Eric, like so play or Corey's brother, Eric,
Mhm.
so funny. Will Friedle is hilarious in that
Mhm.
role. If you don't know Will Friedle, you do know him. He plays Ron Stoppable in Kim
Mhm.
Possible. So if you've seen that show, you know who it is. Um, there's so many elements of this show, and I think for that reason, based off of the ones that we have left, I like a lot of the ones that we have left, but I'm hoping that
Mhm.
we'll be on the same page. But I have to
Yeah.
use my save.
That's
I've
fair.
gotta
That's
I
fair.
gotta use my save because I simply I can't let these shows go.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it.
I understand why you would be very invested in Boy Meets World. Like, it was fun.
It was a good show. It was a really good show. And I think you would like Living Single too.
I just haven't gotten around to it.
So it's cool when you haven't gotten around to something, but when it's me, I'm the bad
Listen,
guy.
I have
I'm
a
the one.
long list of shows I haven't gotten around to.
You've watched every single show that someone has ever like
Yes.
recommended to you.
Yes, I have. Because I enjoy when my friends recommend shows to me, and I want to know what goes on in their head and why they think it's good, so I watch it.
Don't make me sound like a bad friend right now. Don't make me sound like a bad friend. Because
Like, Amelia's not in the chat, but like if Amelia was here, Amelia would know that like they recommended that I watch Centaur World, and you know what the fuck I did? I watched Centaur World and I love it.
okay, 2022, I'm working on myself and I will work on actually like doing people's suggestions.
Yes. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Okay, next two shows.
I won't be perfect at it, but I will work on it. Jeez
Let's
Louise.
start with Doom Patrol.
Okay. That I will start with that one because that is that is one that you have been on my ass about. Rightfully so.
Yes.
Rightfully
Because
so.
it is one of the best shows to come out in the last 10 years.
That is very true. Okay, I just want to make sure I have the right ones going up against each other. Okay. This one's probably is not difficult, I don't think.
This is only hard because of the camp of the Haunted Mansion.
Yes. Yeah.
That movie is genuinely funny. It is so funny.
It's a really like for that reason, it's a really funny movie.
Yeah.
Now, be it if you want it to be scary, there are not many scary elements about this. Like the zombies in it are legitimately horrifying. Like the zombie scene is legitimately scary, and then the
Yeah.
scene with like the knights in shining armor, that was also scary to me. But the rest of
Because
it,
this
not
is
very
like
scary.
this is a manor in Louisiana that they're stuck at. So of course, like zombies that were buried on the property above ground are terrifying, especially to black people. Duh.
Yeah, why do you think they're going like they were going after them a little bit harder than I think they would have gone after maybe like some other like
there is
you know what I
not
mean?
a mansion that was built that an old ass mansion built in Louisiana that did not have slaves. Like you can't just because you didn't make it in the style of a plantation home did not mean this was not a plantation home. Like this is very clearly one. Like it's in Louisiana. It's an old as fuck mansion in Louisiana. We know.
What else could it possibly be?
Like if you had said it in California, I maybe wouldn't have thought that. But you purposefully said it on Louisiana because it's on Louisiana Boulevard and Disney World? Question mark.
Yes, it's in New Orleans Square
New
and
Orleans Square, yeah.
Disney in Disneyland, not in Disney World. It's in like Liberty Square, whatever. But in Disneyland, it is in New Orleans Square. But this mansion borrows like its look from like an amalgamation of all of the haunted mansions across the world.
Yeah.
So,
but you
still.
said it in Louisiana, and for that is unforgivable. You trapped a black family in a mansion in Louisiana, and I cannot forgive that. Therefore, Matilda gets it.
I mean, yeah, it was Matilda was gonna get it regardless because Matilda we both are enthusiasts of the magical girl.
Absolutely.
We love it. We love ourselves a good magical girl moment. If we ever did
I
merch,
think this movie did define me as a child. Yes.
Do you want to build on that, or is that
no?
That was just the sentence?
It did define me as a child. I was really thinking if I was a menace. I was only a menace to adults, so that really does fit.
So you just be using your powers left and right to fuck people.
Yeah.
Oh
absolutely.
my god. I thought you would use your powers for good. I literally have a Matilda shirt that says "Use your powers for good." Momo.
Matilda used her powers for good too, and she was also a menace to adults.
She was a menace to Miss Trunchbull.
And her dad and mom.
Oh yeah.
But they were also terrible. So I did use my powers for good. So
But it when you said that, it made it sound like you were just a menace to adults. Period.
I mean, like, from their perspective, sure I was.
Mama. Matilda moves on to round 2. But I want to watch Matilda again. Is it streaming anywhere? Can we get a freeform sponsorship? Because I know it's streaming on there.
I don't know. I think it must be. I'm sure if you like went to your local Goodwill, you could find like a Matilda VCR or like DVD.
But what's the point of that? I want to know where it's streaming right now. It's got to be streaming somewhere. It's probably on like HBO Max or some random shit like that.
It's probably on Peacock. No one has Peacock.
I have Peacock.
You do? Because I share that password, bestie. You better share that password.
Depending on how this tournament ends up, and if some of my favorites get in, we'll see. We'll see if I share the password. So, better cooperate with me. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, like, I'll share my Dropout password.
What is Dropout?
Dropout TV, where you can watch Fantasy High, Unsleeping City.
I can watch it on YouTube for free.
Not season 2.
Okay. They'll put it on there eventually.
They will not. They literally said join Dropout TV for it.
Season 1 is like 12 hours, so it's going to be a minute before I get to the end.
Yeah, that's true. A class of 3,000 sing la 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 la.
It's
this is an unfair matchup.
It is. I have my one that I love. Momo, I swear to God, I hope we are on the same Momo. I can't do Rugrats and Hey Arnold again. I cannot.
Oh my God, I'm sweating. You
better be, because we better be cosmically linked right now.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Class of 3,000. Oh my God!
You gotta be out of your mind right now with the way that we were going. We let some good ones go in that first episode with As Told by Ginger, and now you want to jump ship.
Class of 3,000. Say la la. This is Class of 3,000. It is such a good one. It's so underrated. You know I can't. You put me between like Forgotten TV and fine. As Told by Ginger.
Momo, you didn't even give me a damn chance. Jesus. Yeah. Here's the thing. I feel like, not that this is, a contest or anything, but I feel like I might have more stakes in Class of 3,000 than you do. It's a show based in Atlanta. There are not many shows based in Atlanta with Andre 3000 from one of my favorite groups of all time, Outkast. I remember watching the show and feeling like this is the show for me. They made this for me.
I know this hurts you more than it hurts me.
It hurts me, but if I'm being honest, with a show that I could rewatch right now and that got a good run, it's As Told by Ginger.
Somebody told me the grass is much greener. We're so offbeat.
On the other side, we were offbeat. We're offbeat on OBS Ninja. We might not be on beat with the stream, but that's fine. I know we got rhythm.
We are offbeat.
I was on beat.
But damn. Fine. Yeah, As Told by Ginger. As Told by Ginger. I feel good about it.
We just had to get it out.
Yeah. It's just. Wait, did you give an explanation as to what like both of these shows were about?
I did not, because we immediately jumped into us not being on the same page. But in case you didn't know, as I feel like people might not know what Class of 3000 is. It was a show on Cartoon Network. It was an animated series about an Atlanta performing arts school grad who is played by Andre Benjamin, aka Andre 3000 from Outkast, who ditches a successful musical career to become a music teacher. It's semi-autobiographical. of Andre 3000 because he did go to a performing arts school in Atlanta. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think he did.
Cause it's reality TV, where real life becomes a sitcom. If you ain't got no rhythm, we gon' show you how to get some. Yeah, this is such a good theme song.
It's if you can find just some of the music from that show, do it because I think they like composed new songs for every single episode of the show, which is
They did. It was
partially
incredibly labor intensive.
and expensive. Very expensive show. And as told by Ginger, which I feel like most of the girlies will know, but it's a TV cartoon that follows a preteen girl named Ginger Foutley along with two friends as they try to fit in social life as well in school and try to avoid any embarrassments.
Dottie and Macy, yeah?
Yeah, Dodie and Macy.
Dodie, sorry.
Dodie and Macy. I'm sure we'll get into it later when it's up against something else where we're going to be crying and shitting and throwing up. But for right now, as told by Ginger, advances on.
We love you, Andre 3000, class of 3000. Say la 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 la.
I'm an ATLian for life. I mean that. I am. I promise. But I have to be honest.
It's just such a cool art style. Very liquidy.
It was very, very liquidy. Very Al Hirschfeld inspired for sure. Okay, next up. These feel evenly keeled in the weirdest of ways to me.
I see that. I do see that.
Uh-oh.
We have both black leads. Mm-hmm. You good? Well, since Bobby can't hear me, this is why Nigel Uno was black. He just is. Look at him. Look at him. He's got a bald. He looks like Fillmore with a little bit less melanin. Like, that is the same person. You got the bald head, the eyebrows, the glasses. If you pan down, if it wasn't cut out, you would see that he was wearing Tim's.
And I just want everyone to know, I didn't pick the image for this. So I'm not a part of some agenda that's trying to kill Momo's theory that Nigel Uno is Afro-Latine. So she alleges that he's wearing Tim's. I just think they're brown shoes.
He's just light-skinned. Thank you. Just a cast iron pan. He's just light-skinned.
I'm not getting into this again with you. I'm just not doing it. I'm just not gonna do it.
Like, Nigel is such a Nigerian name.
You're not wrong.
Like, it just is so, it's so black.
Momo, that is not what we're here to discuss. We are here to discuss Codename Kids Next Door versus Fillmore.
I just think, like, you put two shows with like black leads against each other. One is low key just propaganda for children, and then the other one is like socialism for children. Both, unfortunately, very good. Like, both are very, very good. The drama that Fillmore had,
and the chicken was dry, real dry.
Like, just the first episode.
That was the first
episode of Fillmore. It is absolutely insane. There is a child in solitary confinement because he draws on the walls, and he defaced the brand new. Like, he was framed. Actually, he didn't deface the brand new bathrooms. It was a girl who framed him for defacing the bathrooms because the school wouldn't put out the extra cash for stainless steel doors. Absolutely wild. Wild. I loved it. Bizarre. The things these children got up to, they were just like law. They were law and order and everything in between for this middle school, which is just named X Middle School. You can see it there because I guess the creators were just like, I don't know of a name. X is good. And then Codename Kids Next Door is just like all adults are evil. Capitalism sucks dick. Guerrilla warfare for life. And I love and respect that.
Yeah, I don't think the synopsis I have don't hold a candle to the descriptions that Momo just gave. So I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna hold you. That was pretty good. I don't. This one's your call. I'm kind of even.
My God.
I'm even with both of these.
I love Codename Kids Next Door with my whole heart.
Yeah.
And I also love Fillmore because that was the kind of propaganda that did make me become a safety patrol officer. And I did quit the force because I was just like, this shit sucks.
Oh my Lord.
Fillmore, unfortunately, you are just propaganda for children. And I know because it worked on me. Codename Kids Next Door, you move on.
I think that's
I
a
do
good
love
idea.
you, Fillmore.
Fillmore, played by Orlando Brown from That's a Raven.
Yes.
That aged how it aged. I will say that.
It aged. It definitely got older.
It sure did. This is a matchup that I think happened maybe in the episode where they first appeared. I don't know how that happened, but the random generator knows all. But yeah. We've had this argument before. And I do know that we are on two opposing sides of this coin.
I just think that like Pokemon is just more fun than the Animaniacs. I think it's because I don't really care for shorts.
That it is a very like it's not the typical like 2 11-minute segments thing.
Yeah.
Or I guess in Pokemon's case, they might have gone the full 30 minutes.
I think they went the full 30 minutes.
But yeah, Animaniacs, if you don't know, is like 3, I would say maybe what, like 6-minute shorts, like 6-7-minute shorts. It's not really, there's no real plot. It's not really like any stories that are being told. They're just more of like, it's like animated sketch comedy in a way. That's the best way I
think maybe that's why I don't care for it. I don't really like sketch comedy.
Oh, well, revealing something about myself, I wrote sketch comedy in college, so I really love.
Really?
I wrote and performed sketch comedy in college, so I am a little bit partial to.
Maybe that's why. I mean, it's just not for me, but it's your thing. Do your thing, girl.
I was good. That's all I'm gonna say. I was good, but that's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about. But yeah, I don't know. I love Animaniacs. I love shows that are like I appreciate when Hollywood tries to do the like meta thing about like talking shit about Hollywood. Like I appreciate that aspect of it. And that show had a lot of that in it. They did a lot of like musical numbers about like a wide variety of things. It got educational at times because they have if you're on TikTok and you've heard the audio that's like United States, Canada, Mexico, but yeah, that one, that's from the Animaniacs. That's Yakko sings The Countries of the World. And another fun fact, the President song from the Animaniacs helped me to pass an exam that I needed to graduate college.
Nice. I mean, I pick Pokemon because I loved Diamond and Pearl. Like I really, really loved that game. I did buy the like remake for the Switch, and the way that plot, I just don't know if I'm built for it anymore because my anxiety is too high. They're just like, you have to defeat Team Galactic or they're gonna like kill the moon or something like that. And I'm just like, oh my God, they're gonna kill the moon. I don't know. Like it really did get my anxiety super high. And then I beat Team Galactic, and I'm just like, now all is right with the world. And then they're just like, cool, now you got to beat the Elite Four. And I am so genuinely terrified of Cynthia. I have not done it yet. I got all the way up to that part of the game in like 2 days and stopped short because I'm so scared of that woman.
I feel like that was really cathartic for you to get out. Like that was, I feel like therapy just happened here.
It did.
I appreciate for you trusting me.
I picked obviously the best starter because it's so cute.
That's fair. I don't know. Well, like this is where I feel like we reach a little bit of a stalemate because I know you feel strongly about Pokemon. I know I feel strongly about the Animaniacs.
Like I think I'll just let you have the Animaniacs because I don't feel strongly enough about Pokemon to like fight for it.
Oh, thank God. Okay, thank God. I'm not even gonna.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm gonna take this chance when it is coming. Animaniacs is on, besties. We did it.
Bye,
Oh,
Pokemon.
we did it, Joe. Okay. So this is our last matchup of round one.
I can't
Gladly,
remember what this one was.
we are ending on, I think, an easy one.
I can't remember.
Easy one for me at least. But I think
Okay.
it'll also be very
Yeah.
easy for you.
All right. I think this is going to be the first time we are on the same page.
Okay.
All right. 3, 2,
Two.
1.
Once upon a time. Thank
Okay.
the Lord.
Okay.
Thank the
Finally.
Lord.
Finally. We got it. We got there in the end. Took three separate tries. Three separate tries.
2 of them being extremely painful. But we got there at the end. But yeah,
We did.
this one I knew was gonna be a pretty easy
Yeah.
one.
Because
It's
Halloween Town 1, genuinely good. Genuinely good.
Mhm.
However, Once Upon a Time is that girl.
That girl. It just is. It's that girl. Do you want to give a little bit more on Once Upon a Time as I get our next round ready?
Yeah, I will go ahead. So, Once Upon a Time was essentially just superheroes. Wow. Fairy tale characters get like isekai'd into our world because of the Evil Queen's curse. This concept, I actually made a video on it like not too long ago, like earlier this week.
Mhm.
This concept has been seen already in The Charmings, which was like an 80s sitcom with the same overall plot. Like the Charmings, Snow White and Prince Charming, get put to sleep by the Evil Queen's curse, and now they live in the 20th century. Great for them, I guess. And it also is similar to sorry, I think I got a sneeze. Nope. To Fables, which was a comic book series by DC Comics. I think it was published under Vector, if I remember correctly. And it was, again, like the same plot, fairy tale creatures in modern times, evil curse of some sort. But the creators, Adam Horowitz and Edward Kitsis, I think is how you say it, were under fire because like fans of Fables were just like, this is literally the same plot. Like you took this from Fables, and they were just like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I've never heard of Fables. And then like it came out in the future that not future, but like more recently that they said, we might have picked up an issue or so, but this is a completely different story. So what's the truth? We'll never know. I think by seeing that there are literally 2 different properties with the same overall premise, that this idea isn't exactly unique. I just don't understand why for like both it was Prince Charming and Snow White, because I feel like that's probably one of the lesser Disney couples. I can't really recall anyone that's just like, Snow White is my favorite princess, because why?
You would be surprised. No, you really would be surprised. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Some of it's is very strange. All right, let me make sure everything is here.
I think my favorite princess, if we're gonna count the Wreck-It Ralph princess, Princess Candy, I think her name is, like Penelope von Schweetz.
Oh yeah, Vanellope von Schweetz.
I love her. She's so funny. Honestly, Wreck-It Ralph, one of the greatest movies ever made. I will go on record saying that, because who saw that plot twist coming? Not me. Not I. Oh my god. King Candy is turbo. I remember where I was at that moment when I saw that. Actually, I don't. I don't know why I said that. But When Can I See You Again by Owl City.
And Carly Rae Jepsen. Yeah.
Was she in that too?
The female voice. She's been funny, now I got to go.
I love Owl City.
When can I see you again? Yeah, that song was kind of a banger. I'm not even gonna lie. That was kind of a banger.
I think that was the last time I was truly happy.
All right, I said vamp. I didn't say get personal with the
No, it's just
chat.
like that was such like you know how everyone felt like so good after Black Panther, like with
Mm-hmm.
that song by who sings it? Like SZA?
Kendrick Lamar, that one?
No. At the end, it's just like "Baby the Night,"
Yeah, the,
all the
all the
stars are.
stars are. Yeah, that's SZA.
That's SZA.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how I felt with like "When Can I See You Again," and also that one like musical number at the end of the Bratz movie when I saw it not in concert in theaters. I think like what's her name? The girl that played Jade also sang the song at the end, and I was just like, wow, core memory.
You lead such an interesting life. Such an
I mean, I'm
interesting
not the one
life.
that did sketch comedy, so I would disagree.
True. That is true. Okay. So maybe I should read off what's going forward just so I make sure I have
Yeah.
it correctly. Okay. So going forward, we have Avatar: The Last Airbender
Mm-hmm.
in round one. These are things that are going forward. Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Magicians, Chalk Zone, The Boondocks, Warehouse 13, Schitt's Creek, That's a Raven, Hey Arnold,
Mm-hmm.
Living Single, Boy Meets World, Matilda, As Told by Ginger, Fillmore, or not Fillmore, Codename Kids Next Door.
Yeah.
Sorry. Codename Kids Next Door, Animaniacs, and Once Upon a Time.
Yeah. I actually don't know what our top will be. I really don't.
From this list, I also have no idea. I have no idea. Could not tell you. Okay, so let's put it in the random generator because for some reason it was giving me 15 when it is only 14.
We saved Schitt's Creek, and we saved. Who else did we save?
We saved Schitt's Creek and Boy Meets World.
Boy Meets World. Okay. We should have saved Andre 3000's class of 3000.
We should have. We should have. Why is it giving me 15?
Wait, read them back.
It's I read off 14 and for some reason it's returning 15 to me. It's so weird.
There might be a duplicate name there.
Maybe. Let's see.
Yes, just a cast iron pan. It is random because we don't want to put human error into this. Not human error, but like human bias.
Yeah, we can't. We simply cannot do that. Yeah, no, Living Single Boy Meets World. Yeah, there's no duplicates in this list, but it still returns 15 to me.
What's the 15th?
I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, there are 15. I'm just not smart. I don't know how there are 15, but
Because we saved 2, so that would still be 16, no?
yeah. So what am I missing?
What is this? I'm so bad at math.
This is where it gets complicated. This is where it gets difficult. So we had Jimmy Neutron versus Atla, Hannah Montana. That's what's missing.
Jimmy Neutron got eliminated, no?
It did. Modern Family. That's what got. For some reason, I did not write that down.
Okay.
16.
There we go.
Bobby just does not know how to count.
Yeah.
Modern Family. Okay.
I think the one that hurt the most to say goodbye to was Class of 3000 and the Buzz on Maggie, because I think both of those shows are just like amazing concepts that definitely should come back. If Cartoon Network was going to revive any show, it should be Class of 3000 and do it again. Good old college try.
Give it a good old college try. Absolutely right. Okay. Oh my God. Now this is gone. Some of these are going to hurt you and some of these are going to hurt me. but that's what we signed up for. Okay.
I mean, as long as it's not Atla versus the Magicians, I think I
No.
can make it through.
Yeah. No, it's not.
I know I can make it through. And but how has Degrassi not made it onto our list yet? Have you seen Degrassi?
No, I don't know why. I think actually Degrassi might be on the second half of teen sitcoms.
Okay, that makes sense. But how have you never seen Degrassi?
I think it was just one of those teen sitcoms that like it was never
It
on a
was not
channel
even that was not a sitcom. That was a drama. Excuse
well,
you.
I
There was nothing funny about that show.
what about with everything you know about me, what makes you think that I like dramas?
I mean, I didn't particularly like dramas, but I did watch all of Degrassi.
It wasn't on a channel that I was actively watching. Like the only place that I remember seeing Degrassi was on Teen Nick.
Yeah, I
And
watched it when it was the end.
yeah, see, I wasn't watching it then. Okay, first up. Oh boy.
Oh, this is not hard for me, but this hurts you.
It does because I don't know what fucking direction you're about to be going in, Momo. I'm not even gonna hold you.
All right. All right.
I have
3,
no
2, 1.
Hey
Go to
Arnold.
Kids Next Door.
I'm sorry. But I liked Codename Kids Next Door just enough. It was not a show that I was going out of my way to watch. It's not a show that I hated. It was just a show that I watched when it was on and I enjoyed it. But as far as a show that I have episodes that I love and appreciate and will rewatch again as an adult, it's Hey Arnold for me. It's to me it had the
I think
better
both of these
story.
shows are incredibly rewatchable for different reasons. Like, obviously, Hey Arnold, this was a drama. This was not a comedy.
It was not a drama.
What was funny about Hey Arnold?
There are plenty of episodes that are funny.
I can't think of a single time that show has made me laugh. I remember it being like very like heavy and like it was like easy listening. Like As Told by Ginger. As Told by Ginger wasn't a comedy. That was like a drama.
I wouldn't call it a drama. I think drama is way too heavy for what both of those shows were. I think they were just both slice
I
of
wouldn't
life.
say that they were situational comedies because I don't think any of those shows were funny. Codename Kids Next Door did have its moments. It was just like it was cute. It was fun.
I would call As Told by Ginger and Hey Arnold slice of life, but I wouldn't.
Yes, that's
I wouldn't
better.
call them sitcoms or dramas because they're not one or the other. They had a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, they were slice of lives, and it's really what you were feeling in the moment that mattered.
It was
The Codename Kids Next Door was so much fun to watch.
It was fun. I think it's hard because these are two shows that, while they're both animated, have very different premises. So, like, Codename Kids Next Door is going to be a lot more fun to watch because it's action packed. They're kids doing things that kids can't do in their regular lives. Whereas Hey Arnold is a little bit more relatable and, like, I don't know, like you can't. They're not there. It's like apples and oranges, and it's a taste thing. I think it's like just all in like which ones you like which ones resonate with you more.
Both, and I think both are incredibly rewatchable. Man, this is very, very hard. I don't think I remember the last time I did watch Hey Arnold, but I do remember it was like a nice show. It was like the lo-fi of TV.
It is very lo-fi, but I think there are a lot of it, for whatever reason, hits a little bit better as an adult. I can't describe it, but like watching it as a kid, I think when you're used to shows being a lot more action packed and things are happening and there's a lot of action, you appreciate it then. But when you're an adult and your media literacy kind of advances, you see how ahead of a time a show or Hey Arnold was, at least to me. That's how I read it, and that's why I have to defend it. I gotta defend it.
Like, I know you're defending it, but I'm just saying if Nickelodeon was going to bring there was not, these both were not Nick, just kidding. But if one of these shows had to come back, I think it should be Codename Kids Next Door because there was more story to be told there. They literally ended it on like a cliffhanger with like the galactic kids next door. But Hey Arnold, I feel like it's kind of like you can just watch the older episodes and that's fine. Like I don't see where there could be like more story for Hey Arnold. I feel like the book is kind of open and shut. Like anything you would get is just like just more. Does that make sense? Like you would just get more filler episodes. But there's no like overarching plot there, so like everything is technically a filler episode. But I like shows where there's a story, and Kids Next Door had a story.
I think again, this comes down to based off of
Personal
what
taste.
personal taste, and also it's been revealed that you like more serialized things over episodics.
Yeah.
And that's gonna heavily affect which ones you think are gonna go through. Which me personally,
should we bring back the ye old rubric? Oh my god, rubric.
Rubric? We can, but I still feel like we're gonna be split either way.
Let's see. I have to go back because we haven't used it in a while.
Because usually one of us just is like, okay, like one of us concedes, and that one of us is usually me.
We can't really judge it on theme song because I don't think either of these had a theme song.
Oh no! Yes, we can judge it on theme song. We absolutely can.
Did Hey Arnold have a theme song? Wasn't it just Hey Arnold?
It's a like they're both instrumental theme songs, and Hey Arnold has this beautifully orchestrated, composed, like jazz, like instrumental theme song. It's one of the best like cartoon theme songs.
I think that's a little bit much. I think that's a lot to say. What you're saying it's one of the best?
Chat, just
when we have As Told by Gingers, when we have Class of 3000s.
Yes. As far as instrumentals go, yes, Momo, I do think that.
I find instrumentals forgettable. I just remember Hey Arnold. And I don't remember anything else. I think I just don't really care for jazz.
That's fair. I like jazz. Yeah. But
you like jazz?
You like jazz? No, but as far as like theme songs go, yeah, it is like thank you.
I disagree. I feel like the Doug theme song is more like catchy than the Hey Arnold.
The Doug theme song is a bunch of whistles and claps, and you're like, Hey Arnold is not a theme song?
I mean, like, hey, first of all, Doug's is do 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 do. There's no whistles and claps there. I don't know where you're coming up with that.
You can. I think you just like theme songs you can sing. You can't sing the Hey Arnold theme song.
I can't even hum it. I can't give the general tune of it. Can you? What is it?
Like that's the little stinger. You've heard it, like
it's just like really not ringing a bell. I just remember Hey Arnold, and that's the only part I remember. But
it's
Kids Next Door was do 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 do.
There is no scenario where Codename Kids Next Door beats out Hey Arnold for a theme song. I'm so sorry. It's just not gonna happen.
All right, you can give it a 5. I
give it a 5. Codename Kids Next Door is good too. I give it like 3.5, 4. It wasn't very long because it wasn't a show that put a lot of emphasis on the theme song.
No, this was like I think this was when theme songs were on their way out, which is unfortunate because those are like my favorite part. Then there's cultural impact. I feel like these are both very mid in cultural impact wise because when I say mid, I mean like you don't hear any TikTok sounds using either of these shows.
That cannot be the only metric that we're going off of.
I mean, like
for cultural impact.
Then do you want to use Halloween costumes then? Because I see people dressed up as the Codename Kids Next Door all the time for Halloween now.
Yeah,
I have not seen a single person dressed like
black women because there are not many characters of us out there. So yeah, a bunch of people dressing up as number 5. Sure.
Not only number 5, I see number 3 as well because look at there's an Asian woman lead and a black woman lead, or black girl and Asian girl.
When it comes to diversity, both of these shows are pretty even keeled, so that's not an argument.
I don't know about how even is even. I mean, I can name Gerald, Phoebe, And that's it.
How is that different from number 3 and number 5? That's two characters. The rest of them are white. I'm not
No,
hearing
no,
this.
because you have
I'm
both
not
of their
counting
families.
Momo. Gerald and Phoebe have families too.
I don't even remember them.
You cannot go
Does Gerald
solely
have
off of
like siblings?
Yes, Gerald has like 2 other siblings.
I don't remember
He
that.
has a little sister for sure, and I
You
think
know
an older
what?
brother.
I think the Weekenders and Hey Arnold were in like the same like schema in my head, and the Weekenders was just better, so I like watched that more often than I did Hey Arnold.
Well, the thing is, The Weekenders was a show that both of us could have been watching in real time. By the time we were actively watching TV, like Hey Arnold was on its way out. So
yes,
it makes sense.
They had women of color leads. Like Hey Arnold did not have any. They had side characters for sure, but not leads.
Well, they only had one lead, and that was Arnold. So what are we saying here? Like, what are we saying here? And really,
I'm just saying you can have multiple leads and 2 of them be women of color.
If you want to get down to
like,
the nitty gritty,
Nigel Luna was the main character of like Codename Kids Next Door, but they were other leads. There were 4 other leads.
Okay, so this is what I'm saying. That same thing happens on Hey Arnold too. That's what I was talking about earlier. There are plenty of episodes where Arnold does not show up at all. It centers around other characters. So it's the same thing.
I don't know. I mean, like, I would disagree. I don't think that culturally wise, this Hey Arnold makes as big of an impact. I think it was a good show. It was a fine show, even. But I don't think it would not be on like my top 10 of shows that definitely need to come back in like that should get rebooted, because I don't think you could add anything to the show by rebooting it.
Is your criteria for All Stars which show should be rebooted?
Not necessarily. I just think like
we weren't on the same page with that.
I think like my personal thing is, would I want to see more of the show? Like, should the show come back? Is like an internal thing with me judging how, I guess, like how much of a cultural impact it has. Because for Chalk Zone, I think there's more to that story. Like there's a lot more to that we could get from it. I don't think I could say the same for Hey Arnold, because it's like a fine story, open and shut. Like it's not one of those that you can build more on.
And it had 2 movies and like 6 seasons. So yeah, I would hope that it could wrap it up.
Yeah, so I think like the story's done. I think it's like,
so is Codename Kids. I mean, like it's an action premise show. Of course,
like I just think because there's no premise there. That's why I'm saying like there's no like
it's a slice of life show. Yeah, like there is, because the whole thing with Arnold's parents. That was like a major plot point in
They finished it with the movie.
Why are we using that as a yes, they use that as a premise, but we can't fault that show for getting the materials to finish out its story, and then we praise Codename Kids Next Door.
I'm just saying
they're using it as a device against, like in favor of Codename Kids Next Door, which, like you mentioned, the Kids Next Door in space, but it's not the show's fault that we didn't get to see that played out.
Yeah, it's not either of the show's fault. I'm just saying that if there was something that could come back, that has the potential to come back, like Hey Arnold doesn't have it because the story is open and shut. But like shows like Chalk Zone, Kids Next Door, not even As Told by Ginger doesn't even have it. Like there are shows that have more story there that we could see more of, and I'd be happy to see more of. But I feel like if they tried to bring back Hey Arnold, you would have the same like Girl Meets World effect, how it's never going to be as good as the original. Like, does that make sense?
It does make sense, but I don't know why that is a dock against it, because we're judging the show for when it was on and the show that was happening, not the potential of a new show based on or a continuation of the show now.
I'm saying cultural impact. Would you want to see more of it?
Well, is like, cultural impact, or like, are we talking? I thought cultural impact was more of like Halloween costumes. I've seen Halloween costumes for both. recently.
I haven't seen Hey Arnold. I've seen like quite a few Kids Next Door. But if you didn't want to judge on Halloween costumes, I had to do something else.
I think just cultural impact is like the like how people remember the show. Do people remember the characters? Do people remember moments? Are there like sayings from the show that people remember?
I agree. I think Nick is somewhat dying. Mm,
As far as
I
animated shows go, for sure.
yeah,
They're
they're
prioritizing live
live
action.
action.
Yeah.
But like the Nick that we grew up with is, I think it's dead. Like
Yeah.
Hey Arnold, I think it was a good show. It was, but think I don't see the life in it that I guess you do. Like I understand the whole like cityscape thing. I think that's really fun, and that sometimes they did spotlight the backstories of certain characters. Like can't remember the guy's name and him leaving his sending his daughter to the U.S. because of
Yeah.
the war in Vietnam.
Mr. Win.
I remember that general thing happening, um, and like Helga's sad backstory. But I definitely watched a lot more Kids Next Door. I remember very fondly the fights, the side characters, the villains and such. But I don't remember Hey Arnold as much, even though I did watch Nick quite a bit as a kid. Like I
I
think it's memorable for their highs, but like if they weren't hitting you emotionally high enough, like then I think some of the less emotionally intense episodes were like a little bit forgettable.
I think this is really difficult because they are two shows that
Yeah.
were like one show was on its way out and
Yeah.
one show was premiering when we were watching TV actively. So, yeah, you're probably not watching Hey Arnold regularly when you were watching Codename Kids Next Door because it premiered in like 96. So we both weren't watching
Yeah.
TV, like it wasn't like the only thing that was on Nickelodeon. Like I think it ended in 2002 maybe, like around
The
that
thing
time.
is, I didn't really watch Cartoon Network. I didn't care for the channel, but
Oh
I
my
did
lord.
watch this show. I did really love Nick as a kid, as you can see from my extensive knowledge from all the Nick shows. It's just like this one, like especially if it were to go up against like something definitely in its category, like As Told by Ginger, there's no contest there. It's As Told by Ginger.
I think if it went up against a show like that, maybe, but like against a show like this, they're so different to me. Like I can't,
Yeah,
and like the things that you're saying, I can't fully get on board
yeah,
because I feels like it's just like it's solely just like a taste and preference thing. And while that is like the premise of the
yeah,
show, I don't know. It just feels it's like it's really apples and oranges to me. But this is a show that I care a lot about. Like
yeah.
this is a show obviously that I'm willing to
And
go to
like
bat
Codename Kids
for.
Next Door is a show I care a lot about because first of all, it was like the first show I watched that I'm just like, wow, I've represented because Abigail is me. She looks like me, she talks like me, she's cool like me. But then I watched Hey Arnold and I didn't find the show relatable because there was nothing for me to relate to. Like there was no escapism for me there. And like I thought there was a cool story, but like it didn't hit me in my heart in a way that I could relate to because I there was nothing for me to project onto. It's not like, wow, these kids are living like fun lives. They were living okay lives, and it was a really sad story of this white boy. And I was like, I guess his parents were adventurers that died. Like Abigail is number 5, no?
Yeah, she's number 5.
Yeah, of course I loved her.
And I
And
love
then
her
I
too
loved
because she's
Susie. I loved how she was unapologetically girly and she loved the rainbow monkeys. I related to that too because I loved my stuffed animals. And I just thought like there was something for me to escape to like project it into a world that was unlike my own. But with Hey Arnold, it was more like, here's a life that's not anything like yours. And it's his, which is cool, I guess. and I just didn't. It didn't like really vibe with me, I guess, because it's not like I couldn't see myself in any of the characters.
That makes sense. I mean, here's the thing. There's no scenario where one of us nets out, where both of us net out
No,
being happy with this. And it's just
I
a
mean
matter of
you can put both of these shows back into like the random generator, but like I
it's
don't I
we're gonna
don't
end up with
see.
another thing that's similar to this. And honestly,
Yeah.
like at this point, it's a show that I
Mhm.
love, the show that I care about, and there's no situation where I'm gonna net out with
Mhm.
convincing you. If you just like, here's the thing,
Like I just
because
didn't see the spark in it.
it's a show that because you're challenging me to watch all these things, I challenge you to go back and watch a couple episodes of Hey Arnold as an adult, not solely off of the strength of when you were watching it as a kid. Go watch it back as an adult. And I think it'll hit a little bit different. But for the sake of us moving on, because it's already 10:19 and we're
Mhm.
nowhere near wrapping up, I will let Hey Arnold go, but let it be clear is probably I have a lot more that I
Mhm.
love and that's left, and I'm not letting them go as easy.
Yeah. Like Kids Next Door was that show for me.
I didn't realize
It
you
was
cared that much about this show. I thought there were
there's
shows that you
only like there she was literally one of the only dark-skinned black girls I had. I'm not letting her
I
go.
Momo, we're the same complexion. You're
I
saying
know, but
that
I'm
like
saying like I feel so attached to her. I was never going to let her go. I couldn't like the only thing like I could kind of relate to was like Helga's unrequited love, and I was just like, yeah, like I get that, but I couldn't really relate to anything in Hey Arnold. I watched it and enjoyed it, but it wasn't like a show I was going out of my way to watch. I'll watch
eh,
it again, like I'll watch like the first 5 episodes over the weekend, but I think it was a good show. I don't think it was better than Codename Kids Next Door.
I disagree, but we're just gonna have to agree to disagree at this point. But let's move on. Okay, let me see. So next up, oh nope, it's not where we. There we go. Okay, I think this is our first TV
TV
versus
versus
movie matchup.
because Matilda shaped me, but I also definitely went back and watched like the first 3 seasons of Boy Meets World on like an endless loop not too long ago, like maybe 5 years ago. And damn, that shit was entertaining as fuck.
It's a really good show. Uh, this one's hard because I like Boy Meets World
Mm-hmm.
a lot. I think it's a really good show
I
for a lot of
do.
different
I think
reasons.
it is a really really good teen sitcom
Yeah,
and one of
it's
the only ones. Night. I think
night.
it was one of the only ones to survive the great cancel, not great canceling. It was one of the only ones to survive the round one.
Yeah, I think well that in Raven were the only ones to survive, and I think it be it with everything else that it has or
Yeah.
everything else that it's going to be up against. I think it made it as far as it probably could have made it.
Is Matilda
Um,
that good to you?
I loved Matilda as a kid.
I
That's
did
why
love it as
it's
well.
that's one of the like movies because it was always playing on ABC Family slash
Yeah, I
Freeform,
think
so I was
I
watching it
agree.
a
I think
lot.
it was one of the few movies that like everyone has seen.
Pretty minus is
Minus
it
Amelia.
Amelia? Yeah, minus Amelia.
Minus
Ugh.
Amelia. Only person in the US that was born and raised here that has never seen that movie. So I
They need to
agree.
fix that.
Matilda moves forward. Boy Meets World. It was a great time. Thank you
Was
for
it
your service. But fuck you, Topanga. And Corey.
both of them? They're both the
Love you,
same. But
Sean.
love
And
you.
Angela, who is, of course, not on the poster.
Yeah, because this is posted from like, look at them, they're babies. This is
You're
from like
right.
season 1.
You're right. This actually, yeah, you're right. This is season 1.
Yeah. I think this is the like little banner icon that they use for Disney Plus.
Yeah. I wonder where they used season 1s. That's like that was a choice.
I don't know. But no, I was trying to find one with Angela on it, but because she came like so
Impossible.
much later, it's impossible. They barely have her in the opening like credit sequence. Like she is one little cut scene.
This is when they had the theme song, When It's Boy Meets World. No. That's like season 5's theme song.
I think that's when Angela kind of showed
Yeah.
up, like around that time. Well, at least that was when she was put into the opening credit sequence.
They just like photoshopped her in.
She's just walking around like, I'm here. In this boy meets world. Boy meets.
We're talking about themes. Yeah, it's a good one. It's really catchy.
It has multiple like good ones too, because there was the other like instrumental one that's like when they're in like the.
I think I vaguely remember what you're talking about. Vaguely.
I think it was like season 4. They didn't have it for long, and then they got the actual like words one. Okay. This one is going to hurt you and only you.
Oh no.
Which is good because I fought for my life for Hey Arnold, and now I get to sit back and watch you.
Oh, okay. The Magicians.
I figured.
Like I mean, like these are both sci-fi shows that were canceled because sci-fi cancels all of their best programming, and specifically season 5. And both these shows hurt me. They hurt me, but I love them so much. And like the one thing about The Magicians is that it is one of the only shows I've ever seen that has 2 brown leads, and they are not romantically involved. They don't exist specifically to be each other's love interests. In fact, I don't think they ever get romantically involved. And even though there are no like black women in the main cast, I just feel happy that there are like brown boys and girls that watch the show and are just like, wow, I can actually be a lead, that and my ethnicity is not the butt of the joke. So I like that for them. It was there's representation, but not for me, and I'm okay with that.
That's how I feel about Encanto. It's like it's representation, not for me, but it's representation. For
I feel happy for whoever got it
because it's so few far in between. This one hurts, but I know which one we should go with.
That's So Raven.
Yeah, even though I love Animaniacs, but it's not touching.
It's not better than That's So Raven. With the whole like outfit, the whole outfit episode where she was going to be a fashion designer. There was actually like a movie that never got produced that was supposed to be Raven like getting a job in Paris and Chelsea going to visit her, and then things go wrong, but that never happened.
I am sick that I know that was supposed to happen and we didn't get it. Hurts.
It's unfortunate.
Cuts like a knife. Painful. Spain without the S.
Without the pain. Just this. It's
oh my gosh. This one also hurts me too, but I don't know which way you'll go on this one.
I wonder what you're talking about.
I don't know which way you'll go because you have not seen one of these.
Oh. I have to go with Schitt's Creek. I haven't seen Living Single.
Yeah.
And so I can't be like, oh, it was obviously funnier than Schitt's Creek. But I know it does have a laugh track. And I actually prefer drier comedies relatively. And I know that was a wet comedy.
It wasn't.
It was a moist comedy. It wasn't wet. It was just
I would
moist.
say it was damp because there were a lot of characters on the show who were very dry. Like Maxine is a very dry character. Khadijah is a very dry character. So if you eventually watch it, you'll see it's not quite. It has a laugh track, but I think it has a laugh track more in like the every 90s sitcom had a laugh track way, and less of a it needed one.
Like I think Schitt's Creek, I really like when dry comedy is done well, and I can't think of a show that does dry comedy better than Schitt's Creek.
I agree. It's doing a lot, and that isn't to say that Living Single is not a good show, because it is. Like, and sitcoms, I actually, this is a weird thing to say, I don't really like it when I'm not looking for comedies to make me
laugh out loud, busting a gut every episode. I like much prefer to just like casually find something funny, like in Schitt's Creek. I watched all through like all 6 seasons and only laughed out loud once,
What
but I
moment
still
was it?
thoroughly enjoyed it. What?
What moment made you laugh out loud?
I think it was when David was trying to be a flight attendant and like like the tray just wasn't working. I don't know why that made me burst out laughing. But I like it when my comedies don't make me laugh out loud. I like it when I'm just like watching, I'm just like, that was like objectively funny. And I'm just like chilling watching it. Because if I'm laughing out loud, I can't be paying attention.
Yeah, you'll miss something.
You'll miss
That makes
something.
sense. That
So I
makes
don't like
sense.
joke, 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 joke. It does. I don't find that funny. I'm just like, when it's written like that, to me, it makes it feel like I know I'm supposed to find that funny, but like I don't, because you're just throwing jokes at me and none of them are really hitting. Like there, some of them are hitting, some of them aren't. I much prefer to have like a show where the jokes are just supposed to be like mild rather than like trying to throw hard jokes at me every line. I don't like it.
You want to find the funny versus it being explicitly pointing out to you.
Exactly. Like I don't want them to be like, "This is funny, ha, laugh." I don't want that.
It's like, no, it's corny.
Yeah.
This, I don't know how this. I simply don't have the strength to fight for another show again. I don't have it in me. I'm spent and I'm sad. So
I know you're sad about Hey Arnold, but it could have been Hey Arnold versus like As Told by Ginger.
those would have been two evenly keeled shows. Though
I mean,
never mind. I'm not open up old wounds just to have you salt them bitches up. I'm not doing it. But
the
this
Boondocks
one,
and Modern Family.
I know which show should go forward. But I just
Objectively
like
or like because we're black?
both. Maybe. Maybe, yeah. I know Boondock should go forward. I know that it is probably the better written show. It's probably doing a lot more things. I just like Modern Family, and I there's not much that I can say to defend myself in that regard.
I actually was going to agree and say we should go with Modern Family.
Thank God.
Because like I do enjoy the Boondocks, but like I don't think, I know it was a wet comedy. No. Yeah, it was a wet comedy, which was also like a great commentary. But like I did enjoy the dry parts of Modern Family.
That, and I love a good mockumentary style show. Like
I didn't understand why they were having a mockumentary done, though.
I didn't either. It doesn't really make much sense. But
It doesn't make any sense as to why this is a mockumentary. Like, what are they documenting?
And we never see the final, and like we never see the final product on like what we kind of do on The Office and like what we do in the shadows. But I just like having the cut scenes of like characters being able to talk and like give us their thoughts in between all the action. I just like that aspect of it. Even
I liked that it was a drier comedy. The Boondocks, great show, was more wet. Got to be in the mood for that, but you could just fold laundry and watch Modern Family.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with Schitt's Creek, where there are some moments that are like laugh out loud funny, and then there are just some moments that's like, oh, that's funny.
Like objectively, like that is funny, but I'm not going to laugh out loud. But I did enjoy it. Like that's it.
Yeah, I agree. I am grateful that we were on the same page with that, because defeated does not begin to describe where I am at personally right now. Trenches, that's where I live, in the trenches.
It did make it to round 2, though.
Moving on. It did make it to round 2.
It did.
It should have gone all the way. I would have settled for top 4. And even
I was not gonna let my good sis Abigail get kicked out in round 2. I know that you would have, and I know it hurt you, but it would have hurt me way more.
And so your pain is is bigger than mine? Is that what it is?
I mean, like, that was all I had. She was all I had for years. Until Craig of the Creek. She was all I had.
You definitely had Bumblebee on Teen Titans, but that is neither here nor
I
there.
didn't actually watch Teen Titans that much.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's just move on. Let me just keep
Because
going.
I was watching Justice League. I wasn't watching Teen Titans.
That's fair.
So
Um,
I kind of miss Bumblebee. But all I had was Abigail.
Bumblebee, I don't think she
Mhm.
was played by Cree Summer, but she very well
I don't
could have
think she
been.
was.
I'm pretty sure she wasn't though.
Bumblebee was only on Teen Titans, I think, like towards the end of it.
Yeah, she kind of showed up when like Tara was showing up a lot.
Yeah.
When they began to expand like the other teen adjacent
Mm-hmm.
characters and
Welcome,
stuff.
Calderon.
Hello.
Yeah. She was. Yeah.
Where's it? There we go. Okay, I couldn't find it for a second. Okay. This one, another fairly easy one, I would say.
Oh, this pains me.
I don't know
Oh,
why.
this pains me. Because I love both of these shows so much. These are, I think, the two best not shows, I guess, like greatest concept shows to exist on the tournament. Like both of these worlds are so large. Like if I were to write like a D&D campaign, easily could have it set in Chalk Zone. Easily could have it set in the world of Avatar, which does not have a name for whatever reason. Just realized that. What is their world called? What is it called?
Just Earth? Because they just talk about the individual
Yeah.
like
We don't have a
areas.
name for the world of Avatar. But Chalk Zone, there is so much unmined story in both of these shows, which is why that's what I love about like shows. I love when there's like more to it. You can imagine there more.
Yeah, that's very clear and evident to me.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Like but I have to go with Avatar because I can't. Oh man, that hurts. Chalk Zone.
Good.
Chalk Zone.
Good.
I will avenge you. I will avenge you. I will write a TTRPG set in Chalk Zone, but it will be called Dry Erase Land because of copyright.
I thought you said Apple Pencil Zone or World.
But Apple is also copyrighted, so it has to be Dry Erase Land. Where everything you erase there goes to Dry Erase Land.
Projection board land. That's what it needs to be for the kids now.
Projection board land. Because Chalk Zone. I'm gonna make a TikTok about that. Nobody steal that shit. I'm gonna be so upset if you do.
I will steal it. I will steal it out of spite and jealousy. I will write the script.
You have nothing to talk about for TTRPG.
I don't care.
Tell me what TTRPG stands for right now. Go ahead. Here's a mic.
Tabletop role-playing game.
Oh, okay. I actually didn't think you would get that.
Try me if you want to. Try me if you want to. Why would you recruit? I feel like I had to learn this shit because of reasons.
Oh yeah, I've been like training you.
Yes. Trying to try me. Also,
this is unmined content.
Unmined content for you. I want vengeance. I seek vengeance. But that's fine.
Rudy's got the chalk zone. Rudy's got the chalk. Rudy's got the chalk.
All right, and our final two for round dos.
Can you imagine if like the hill you were gonna die on was like something like Cat Dog?
No, there's no way. I would not embarrass myself. No like way. That. I am glad that I died on the hill of a good show. I'm glad that is the hill that I was dying on.
Even though Once Upon a Time did have that grip on society and me as well for like some time in 2011, as told by Ginger.
Good. Okay.
As
great.
Told by Ginger all the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Had its just hooks just right in my nostrils, just picking me up by my nostrils. I love that show so much.
As Told by Ginger, it grabbed me by my heart and it was like, you are going to build your whole personality around the show for at least 3 years.
And build it you did.
You did.
And build it you did.
If you were to cut into my heart as a person, you would find at the very core of it at least a layer this thick of As Told by Ginger content.
That was very interesting. Good to know that your anatomy is made up of TV shows.
Of course it is.
I don't know why I thought any different.
I
Yeah.
don't know how you get any different. Like,
I
obviously.
excuse moi that I didn't know my friend's anatomy
Yeah,
off rip.
my anatomy is just television shows.
That's fair. Okay, so going forward, we have Matilda, Modern Family,
Mm-hmm.
Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Mm-hmm.
fucking codename Kids Next Door, The Magicians, That's a Raven, Schitt's Creek, and As Told by Ginger. Okay,
Man,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, just making sure.
man, this is hard. I don't know what kind of mix-ups we will have.
Oh boy.
Because let me tell you why As Told by Ginger was that girl. We
Good shit.
had a theme song written and performed by Macy Gray.
Was it written by her?
Timeless. I'm pretty sure.
Because I know there's like 3 versions of it, of the same song, but they're sung by 3 different people.
Oh, okay. Just kidding. It was performed by Macy Gray. Performed by Macy Gray. Absolutely timeless intro. Timeless. That could be put onto any like slice of life show today, and it holds up. Like the animation style, definitely of its time, because you would never see something produced now that looks like this.
I don't know. It's just, I think it's like
Mhm.
people hate Klasky Chupo style animation.
I enjoy it in this show and like
I
Rugrats.
like it. And like Wild Thornberries and All Real Monsters, like it's very stylized. Like, yeah, their mouths are on their chins. Who cares?
But like, I feel like this was the blueprint for like the animation we have now, because now we have like the Bob's Burgers, like Rick and Morty style, and it's
Oh,
like we've strayed from God's path.
we have strayed so far from God's path. Okay, coming in hot
Like it's
on round 3.
the only reason I feel like we're not getting like Ginger like shows is because it's slice of life, and we haven't had a slice of life show since like literally like those 2 shows, The Weekenders, As Told by Ginger, and what's his face, Hey Arnold, Doug. Those are the only slice of life shows, and they were all like finished in like 2005, 2008.
Yeah.
Like, I love Kids Next Door. It is not better than Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I agree.
And
that's all I will say.
like, I also highly agree that Rick and Morty animation is not better than the Ginger. What did you say? Chupo style?
Klasky Chupo, that was the
Klasky
animation
Chupo.
studio. Arlene
It's not better.
Klasky and Gabor Chupo. They were co-creators of the Rugrats. And that's their like style of animation. All right, codename Kids Next Door. It's been real. Goodbye.
Love you so much, Abigail. But up against Katara, who is, if you were to cut deeper into my soul, definitely is like the blueprint, like the bones of my body, and over those bones are muscles, and those muscles are Korra.
I have not seen Legend of Korra, but I liked Katara.
Oh my god, you're killing me, Bobby.
Okay, you haven't seen much of Hey Arnold, so you were killing me in that regard. Bestie.
I have seen it. I just
no,
like The Weekenders better.
We're not getting into this. We're not talking about this because every time I bring something up, you're like, I don't remember that. So we're not talking about this. But as far as like Katara, the one thing about Katara that I did not like is that she tried to make her grief bigger than Sokka's for some reason when they both lost the same mom. Like, I hate to be that person, but she would constantly make Sokka feel like shit because she was grieving harder than he was, apparently, according to her. And I didn't vibe with that. I didn't like it.
I don't think that was brought up nearly as much as people say it was brought up. But I like her nonetheless because Sokka had to be taught to not be a misogynist, and I didn't care for that very much.
That's fair. Okay. This one might be difficult, but there's one that I like a lot more.
I mean, I did stop watching Modern Family at a point, but I did watch Schitt's Creek all the way up to the end.
Way through. Yeah, I watched it all the way through. All 6 seasons, every single episode, a couple of them multiple times. Shit's Creek.
Agreed.
Cool. It feels like these rounds they're shorter because
We've seen these shows before. They're fresh in our mind. We at this point know which one is objectively better than the other, and we know why we like them.
yeah,
We voiced that.
or we've already fought tooth and nail for
Yeah.
these at one point.
Yeah. Schitt's Creek is dry comedy at its finest. Modern Family is like a little bit moist, and I prefer dry comedies.
Have you made a TikTok video describing comedies as moist and dry?
No, I will.
Please do. Because I need other people to put a clip from this when you use the word wet to describe a comedy for the first time, because I've
Like,
never heard that.
A wet comedy is one that like is like Big Bang Theory is a wet comedy. It's like punching you in the face like this is funny, laugh, and it's not really that funny to me. But like a dry comedy, obviously Schitt's Creek. Oh, this is painful and hard. Like, I really love Matilda so much, but I also really love The Magicians. Again, if you did not see the first part of this, The Magicians is just Narnia minus Christianity plus Harry Potter if it was good.
That's the formula.
And then Matilda is just like all the girls that loved books but did not project themselves onto Hermione Granger loved Matilda.
Pretty much. Like there is definitely a Venn diagram or just two separate circles. There are girls who like saw themselves in Hermione, and then there were girls that saw themselves
in Matilda.
Pretty
like, and those, and like, even if you think like, oh, I definitely saw myself in both, liar, you're a goddamn liar. You preferred one over the other, and you know it. Mm-hmm. Because Matilda, I would never say like, oh my god, I projected onto Hermione Granger, because that is a lie. I did not.
That is a lie. There was nothing.
I did project myself onto Matilda.
There was nothing about that annoying white girl that I saw myself in. She just was smart. I'm like, okay. What else is it giving?
Annoying. I didn't care. I didn't find anyone in Harry Potter particularly likable or projectonable.
There's no black women in Harry Potter.
Like, not even like personality wise, because like personality wise, I like am Julia from The Magicians, and she's like, I think she's like native or half native in real, like the actress in real life, but like nothing for like the mess that was Harry Potter. Oh, this is a fun. I'm probably gonna say goodbye to The Magicians, and I'm sad about it. But one thing, I was dating this guy, and I did force him to watch The Magicians because I made him do like the 7 Evil Exes thing, but with like my 7 favorite shows. Couldn't even make it past The Magicians, weak ass bitch. But
you said that so casually.
He said that he projected onto Quentin, and then he thought that I was like Alice, and I have never been so gravely disrespected in my life.
For the audience and for me as well, who have not seen the show, why is that so? Can you give us like a little, like a couple words on who these characters
Alice is just like Hermione Granger. She's just Hermione Granger. She's smart. She loves magic, and she'll do anything to learn more about magic. And she likes Quentin for literally why? I don't know. And I was like, oh, I'm definitely Julia. And he was like, but Julia doesn't get with Quentin. And I'm just like, I don't know what that has to do with me. Like, I don't know what that has to do with me.
He definitely saw himself in Quentin. He's like, well, you have to be whoever my love interest is.
Like, yeah. And Quentin was just like a little bit insufferable, like main character because white man. And I was just like, I don't know why you would ever think that I would be Alice because I have big boobs and glasses. Like, that's not enough. What?
Because I have big boobs and glasses. And now you guys, he how far into the seven evil exes thing did he make it? Like, where
He
was
made it
Magician's
into
Fallen?
like season, I think like season 2 of The Magicians.
How many
Then I
seasons are
realized I
there?
really didn't like him very much. I didn't like being around him.
And then that was done.
Then
So
it was done. I mean, like I was emotionally checked out when he said I was like Alice because I was just like, I will never let a man disrespect me like this in my own house. In my own house,
you knew
it's
your
like
worth. You fought for
threatened my
yourself.
life. He threatened my life with that.
I
Unacceptable.
don't know if he threatened your life, but he
That
definitely
was
disrespected
threatening my
you.
life.
I don't think so, but he definitely was disrespecting you. And
I will not stand for it. I did not stand for it. I was like, get the fuck out of my apartment. I actually didn't say that. I was just like, absolutely not. And I mean, like, that should have signaled to him that this was never going to work out when I didn't think it was cute that he made the couple be us. It was like, no. I asked you a serious question. But yeah, unfortunately, I do have to say goodbye to the Magicians because I know Bobby wants Matilda to go forward. And even though I do love the Magicians with my whole life, and I recommend it to everyone that has ears, goodbye, my friend.
okay. Well, this one is gonna hurt. I think both of us. We will see. I'm not sure though. It's gonna it's gonna be painful.
I don't know. I mean, like, by the Magicians. Ugh. The book's not as good as the show. Gonna be honest.
I didn't even know there was a book.
There was a book series. Oh,
Yeah.
I know the song in my heart. I know what the song in my heart sings. The song in my heart sings Macy Gray. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Raven. I'm so sorry. But the song in my heart is Macy Gray's.
This hurts. It's painful. It hurts so bad. It hurts so
Like
bad.
I love a fashion girl. I love a fashionista.
I do. I love like an extroverted fashionista. I just knew in my life
That was not me.
that was not me. That's not my testimony. That was not either of our testimonies.
That was not my testimony. My testimony was just awkward. I'm trying to get through life, girl. That also likes to write things down.
With like two friends.
Yeah, with like two whole friends, and that was really my testimony. That was my life.
That was it.
Like I also had divorced parents, so like that was like literally my life, except I didn't have a little brother. But if I did, it would probably be like I almost said Sheen, not Carl. I'm like really going through the Nickelodeon children names.
He took Carl. Carl was her little brother's name.
It was Carl? Okay, I was right.
Because you remember Lois would say it like she's that
Carl?
lazy Carl. Like she takes the L off. Carl. I feel like a black is told by gender is just Moesha.
It's
just not
what?
animated. It's Moesha. It's just not animated.
I didn't see Moesha. I don't think I had the channel it aired on.
It was well off before we were watching TV actively.
I mean, I was watching Girlfriends when it was, I think like
Girlfriends like started in 2001. I think Moesha like ended in 2001.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then. I'm like I was watching Girlfriends from way before I should have.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, Moesha was the only one I could think of. Another black girl that like writes. Here, that's besides the point though. I think the song in my heart sings the same song as you.
I'm so sorry, Raven. I am so sorry. You were all of not Nickelodeon's, Disney Channel's the first show starring a black girl, the first to reach 100 episodes, the first to have a spin-off. You had 2 spin-offs. Unprecedented. Absolutely. For whatever reason, you didn't have a movie when it seemed like all of the non-Nickelodeon Disney shows had movies at that time. But
I guess they were like, she's in Cheetah Girls. That's fine.
I forgot that. She was literally in like every Cheetah Girls movie. She didn't have time for a That's a Raven movie.
She really didn't. So they were like, we don't care. You're in Cheetah Girls. You'll be fine. Yeah. Okay, so Going on into our last round,
Our final four? What's our final four? I feel like I'm surprised by this.
our final four is Avatar: The Last Airbender, Schitt's Creek, Matilda, and As Told by Ginger. Now, I think a way that would be a little
Yeah.
less painful for
Hmm.
us is to, instead of putting these up against each other, maybe to
Hmm.
just categorize this top four, like to just put them in different orders.
Okay. Oh, so like rankings way?
Yeah. Instead
Isn't
of,
that
I
still
mean,
like
we
putting a
would end up,
top?
I mean, we still would, but I just, it doesn't feel like we're eliminating one, doesn't feel as bad. We could do it the regular way, though.
I mean, let's see. We have Schitt's Creek, Matilda, As Told by Ginger, and Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Hmm.
I mean, they're all literally completely different genres. All of them. All of them.
They are. That's why I feel like they could go up head to head, but we would again be comparing apples and oranges. It would be extremely difficult.
I mean, if we want to talk about like slice of life, that's Matilda versus As Told by Ginger, yeah?
Yeah, but then Schitt's Creek versus Avatar: The Last Airbender.
So odd. That's such an odd pairing.
It's so weird. I mean, I feel like ranking it might be better only because we could maybe agree on
Mhm.
what would be at the bottom. Do it like that. If you want them to go
Mhm.
head to head, we can do that. But I'm just saying for the sake of emotional distress.
I mean, I think they technically could all. They did beat all of the others to now be on the best of the best. So I guess the best of the best would be As Told by Ginger, Matilda, um, Schitt's Creek, and Avatar: The Last Airbender. Those are just simply the best of the best.
You can do it like that. I mean, I
Mhm.
think Avatar and As Told by Ginger were on the same episode, so they're two thousands cartoons.
Oh, really? That's correct. So
Hmm.
of all of the competitors, these four are the best of the best.
Yeah,
I think we can end it at that.
I think we
Those
can
are
too. Because I feel like on any given day, any of these would be number one over other ones.
pour one out for KND. Pour one out.
I'm not pouring out shit for Candy. I'm so sorry. I can't do it.
I
I'll pour
mean,
out a
like,
little bit. I'll pour just
you're gonna disrespect number five like that?
I'm not disrespecting number five. I'm disrespecting the show that she's on. I love number five. It's Cree Summer supremacy all day.
It's Cree Summers is all my black girls. It just so happens that number five was my favorite, and also tied with Susie Carmichael. But I couldn't love Susie as much as number five because she was not in a lot of Rugrats. She
She was
like
in a
made
lot of All Grown Up.
appearances.
She's in a
She
lot of
was in a
all.
lot of All Grown Up, but All Grown Up wasn't competing.
That's true.
Um, she wasn't in a lot of Rugrats. She was like every other third episode, you would have a Susie appearance, and it wasn't enough for me.
That's true. Well, Cree Summer does make it into this top four.
She does. They're how?
Miranda on As Told by Ginger.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. You're totally right.
And that's my sister right there. Like, I get that she was bitchy. I get that she was horrible. That is simply my sister. I cannot degrade her.
Yeah.
She just needed more black friends.
I mean, like, it's kind of, this is unpopular, but I feel kind of like the same way about Tony from Girlfriends. I know everyone wants me to hate her, but I don't hate her.
I can't hate her. I
You
can't. I
can't hate
like.
her.
I just want better for her. I know the
Yeah.
potential is there.
I'm like, there, everyone's just like, she was such a bad friend. Like, she was bad to all of them. I'm just like, listen, growth is realizing none of those bitches should have been friends with each other.
That's the thing.
That's the truth. Like, none of them should have been friends. They were bad friends to each other. It wasn't one person that was bad. They were all bad.
They were all equally terrible.
So
Yes.
I feel like people are really on the Tony hate train because she really embraced the fact that she was like a bad friend. Like, she tried going to therapy for it, but like, I don't, but you still continue to be friends with people that were like really bad friends to you. You're just in the same cycle of terrible.
Mm-hmm.
You know how
I
I
agree.
knew they were bad friends? When, what was her name? Maya couldn't afford a dress and they didn't say, oh, leave it, you really can't afford it. They encouraged her to buy it. Bad.
That's a terrible friend. That's a
Terrible.
like, if you, my friend, do not have it, and I do not have it for you, it will not be had, and that is simply how it will go.
Exactly. If like you're shopping somewhere and like you know that one of your friends can't afford to shop there, you go somewhere else.
You go to a store where they could afford something. That's what a real friend does.
Yeah.
That is what a real friend. I don't think Maya was
I
biracial.
don't think so.
I think it was
I,
Lynn who was the one that
Lynn was
was.
biracial, and that was like her whole character, which was ridiculous because like Tracy Ellis Ross is biracial, but was playing a full black woman, and they never said anything about that.
Yeah, that's weird. But no, Maya. I think Maya was. She was black as hell. Like she
Yeah.
was. I don't think she was mixed. Um, but I feel happy with this top four.
Mhm.
We
These are the
lost
best of
some
the best.
we lost some real ones along the
We
way. I
did.
think I don't know if our pain was equal, but we both suffered to a degree.
I mean, like I think my pain was you probably feel it cut deeper because like you really liked Hey Arnold, but like I've seen all the ones that cut deep to for me were ones that I did watch all the way through, like multiple times, and did leave marks on my personality. So it was really hard to say goodbye to Kids Next Door and really hard to say goodbye to the Magicians. But I felt like I did justice by them, at least by getting people to know more about them because there are more forgotten shows.
I don't think Codename Kids Next Door is forgotten.
I'm
If we're
sorry, I meant
going,
Chalk Zone. I meant
I
Chalk
was
Zone.
I was about to say, if we're going off of your argument of cultural impact, it should not be forgotten.
I was literally picturing Chalk Zone, and I said Kids Next Door for whatever reason. But yeah, I'm glad that I've at least done my due diligence and gotten, oh my god, Chalk Zone into the cultural atmosphere again.
I will say, I think you definitely did your due diligence with that
Mm-hmm.
and with the magicians.
Mm-hmm.
I tried my best with Hey Arnold. It cuts me
Mm-hmm.
like a knife, and that argument that we had was only salt and lime on the wound. Um, I'm hurt, I'm stunned, I'm shocked, I'm
I
shitting,
mean,
I'm
I
throwing
will
up,
go
I'm
back
crying.
and watch Hey Arnold,
Don't worry
but
about
like
it.
I can. I will. You said you wanted me to do it, so I'm gonna rewatch it.
Because I know what's gonna be worse on this
Mm-hmm.
wound for me is if you come back and you're like, yeah, I still agree. I like that. I will jump off of
So
a
you
building.
don't want me to watch it.
Like I do want you to watch it, but I don't want the conversation to then
So
be,
you don't want
yeah,
me to
I feel the
say
same
anything
way.
about it. So I will just watch it and just not say anything.
You can. I mean, if you've got something, if you have an insight that you would like to share, I will hear it. But it will hurt me as a friend if I'm like, I feel like you should watch it as an adult and see if you
Mm-hmm.
feel any different and you don't feel any different. That would hurt me. And it's not something that you can
Yeah.
control. You either will like it or you won't like it.
I just think that in terms of slice of life, I gravitated more towards the Weekenders and As Told by Ginger because they had stories I could relate to because they were both like the main characters were both like children of divorce, and that was something I was raised in. So it was like I could relate to both of these characters even though they weren't black. Even though Tino was a boy, he was being raised by his single mom of divorce,
Mm-hmm.
and Ginger was like essentially like the same character archetype as me, and was also being raised by a single mom.
It makes
So it was
sense.
like really those shows meant a lot to me in terms of that, but like I never grew up with my grandparents. So it was hard for me to like relate to anything that um Arnold was saying because I'm just like I don't get it. I'm not a huge fan of old people, but you are, and I think that's really cool.
It was you, me?
No, I mean like Arnold. Like
Oh,
you, Arnold, are a fan of old people, and I'm not. Like he grew up in like a very large family, and I couldn't relate to that.
not really though. He grew up in a boarding house with
Yeah, like
mostly strangers and his grandparents.
but those were like his extended family. Like those were people that he lived with. There was a boarding house, but like those were like essentially, you call everyone your aunt and uncle. If he was black, he probably would call them aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
And those were like his extended family. I didn't have that. I had like my two friends and my mom.
I mean, I think if we were
Mhm,
arguing Hey Arnold versus like those two other
mhm,
shows, then I think we would definitely be in like we would reach a lot of common ground with that because I get it.
mhm.
Like I like those shows a little bit better. I think where it became difficult, at least for me, was because we were arguing with two shows that were just so vastly different.
Yeah.
Um, but it's over now.
Mhm.
Um, Hey Arnold was where it was, low as hell on the
I
list,
mean,
but it's fine.
you can make like a Twitter post and be like my personal favorite, and this is why. And then I'll make one and be like, this is my personal favorite, and this is why.
Mama, you know that is not the damn same. You know that is not the
I am
same.
trying here.
It's fine. It's fine. We ended up with the top 4 that I think we were both
Yeah,
happy with.
happy with.
Um,
Can we get the top four on the board? Is that possible?
um, we would be covering us up, but yeah.
And then we just end it there.
But yeah, let me see. Well, I'm doing
I actually
that.
don't know if it will end up covering up because I do. I think I would have to turn off our cameras.
You would. I don't know. I mean, if you just wanted it to, we can, but
Never
uh
mind. Never mind. It's good. That's fine.
but yeah, we gave out four
Mhm.
Peabodys. I'll put up the ones that won on the board: Schitt's Creek, Matilda, and Avatar: The
I
Last
was
Airbender.
actually very shocked Matilda got it this far.
I
I
am
was
too.
not really expecting it to make this far.
I wasn't, but at the same time, as far as if any of the movies were gonna make it far, I figured Matilda was gonna be the one to make it
I really
far.
thought it was going to be Haunted Mansion
I don't know why, because
because it was
you love
just so
Matilda,
funny.
but you love Matilda.
I love Matilda, and I can't forgive the fact that they did make this. They did trap this black family in a plantation essentially. But I think Eddie Murphy's performance that was comedy.
It was comedy. It was. It was really good. What was the other one? Schitt's Creek. But we ended up with some really good ones. So that's all we can do at this point. It's
I
taking
love
forever.
that for us.
I do too. Okay. The Peabody is going to block it, but that's fine. Okay.
That's fine.
I'm doing the best that I can at this point. There it
All
is.
right.
Ta-da.
Our top four: Schitt's Creek, Matilda, As Told by Ginger, and Avatar: The Last Airbender have won the competition of the tournament All Stars and have all won. I believe this is now Avatar: The Last Airbender's second Peabody, and Schitt's Creek's as well.
Second Peabody, I
Everyone
think so.
everyone goes home happy, except Bobby, who is deeply hurt because of Hey Arnold.
It's deeply
But it was
hurt.
great.
It
Yeah,
hurts me because I said I wasn't gonna compromise and I was gonna fight for myself, and it ended up being, you know, useless anyways. So who cares?
like
Who cares?
thanks everyone for watching.
Mhm.
We will see you next year for season 2 of the tournament. Bye. It was great hanging with y'all.
Woohoo.